This is Josiah Plays Dungeons & Dragons. This is the Mists of Madness campaign with DM Stoyla. I'm playing a character in this game, not dungeon mastering. Stoyla is the DM. I'm here with the other players. We're going to play some D&D. It's going to be fun. So let's jump back into the Discord with everybody in progress and play some D&D. Okay. I'm good to go.
Right. So this is two of Mists of Madness. I forgot what my own campaign name was for a second there. So last session recap. Last week, everyone arrived in the city of Bar, or was already there. Our players met up in a brothel called the Dirty Secret, where Kakofany and Beldak worked, and is owned by the goddess Sehenin. Much conversation about many things, and rooms ended up being rented. And the following day, met in the downstairs area for a pancake breakfast, where you very briefly met the goddess Sehenin, who immediately Kyun and then ran away. You then had a conversation with one of the workers there, who promised that she would make sure Sehenin was ready for a conversation later. And Kyun decided they would go to the Blue Crystal Market to purchase a gift. So they're meeting later. So we now find our back in kind of the main. We don't even find them back there. We find you in the back room where they just finished having their conversation. Doing at the moment.
I don't know.
Oh.
I know that Beldak and Kakofany had to work while they went shopping.
Yeah,
They went
Kakofany's
shopping.
working today, so...
Today, and so is Beldak. So today is not either of your days off?
Someone is typing. Oh, he's at work. Okay.
Oh dear, she is asleep. And alright. Well, we'll just have to function without Val. Took her with a really long
Well, I'm sure she needs to sleep.
Yeah. So we'll just have
I guess
Although, how does he know she's asleep if he's at work?
if she hasn't
If she
responded.
doesn't pick up her phone, then
Oh, I see.
They probably have
assume.
like cameras, and he can have a look on his phone. And
Yeah, I'm
psychically.
sure that's it.
Or telepathic mind link.
It's like a baby monitor thing that he can monitor from work.
Just to say a security, you just get like one of those dog cams. Or pet cams or whatever they are.
It sounds a little bit weird.
Well, I guess Beldak can take a day off to go to the Crystal Market and follow around Barrack and Kyun.
You do get 1 day a week off, so if you want to make this your day off, you could do that.
Yeah, take the day off. You need someone to show you around.
Oh, well, if Beldak's gonna take the day off, then Kakofany will definitely take the day off, too.
Right, so Beldak and Kakofany are going to use this as their day off.
Yeah.
Why not?
Kava, how do you manage the group that they should totally let us or the three of us, I guess, sit in on the conversation later on. So we are going to that, probably.
Oh, so we're going to sit in and find out from her where Marius is. Is that the deal?
That's the goal.
Okay. All right.
Or just listen in general. Buddy just seemed generally curious about, like, going and talking with a goddess.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean...
Kakofany kind of has a crush on Seheni, and so he's always down to hang out around her.
So, my question is, did you want to go to the crystal market as well and look for some sort of gift, or did you have other plans in the city?
I mean, outside of the dome, it's all a barren wasteland, right?
I mean, there is a giant lake next to the city.
I mean, generally, you're walking around with respirators and you've got these maddening mists and everything.
Yeah,
So he would probably take this opportunity to... Are there any parks in Karikafar?
Park.
Yeah.
You're going to
Just
head over to the park?
Areas of greenery and, like nature. I feel like he and Simon would just relish the opportunity to be amidst nature with their masks off. And just,
Cool.
Yeah.
So
that...
Yep, go ahead. So that means, Buddy and I think I know what Buddy's gonna do. So, Simon are gonna go to the parks, and
Gardens
Kakofany.
or parks.
Well, there's a garden, there's a park, there's a vineyard. What are you looking for in particular?
Just whatever's nearby.
Is there like a big park you could probably go to?
Okay, yeah. So they would spend time there.
Right. So I'll come to you after. So we're gonna start with Rio in our group of 4 markets, which is in the giant blue tower. You get there, gorgeous tower, and it seems to be made entirely of this strange blue stone that gives off its own light. It's probably some sort of glowstone, and it's flecked with little bits of gold pyrite, which makes it almost look like the night sky. I'm up to the like crystal and magic marketplace, and it looks very much like this, but with the blue walls.
Do we see an actual cat person merchant?
A cat person, but it does look like it's some sort of costume. It's not an actual cat. Do in the marketplace.
Well, Barrack, he comes in, he looks around as they enter. He has his sword strapped over his shoulders again now, so he, sort of gently reaches up and pulls that to the side so that he can, crane his neck around to look at the whole thing, and he turns to Beldak and Kakofany and sort of raises one eyebrow and says, "Well, here we are, I suppose. You don't happen to know of any fine stalls or vendors of the sort of thing that we're looking for, do you?"
I don't understand. Go ahead.
First tell me how you carry this thing, and he taps the sword.
"I carry it with the steadfast faith and strength of Pelor, and also with this leather strap. It's very helpful."
Oh.
sort of distributes the weight across this, this shoulder down to the hip, and that way it's not too heavy or any. I'm getting off track. Look, the point is that I wield it with the strength of Paylor, and it is my divine. It is a symbol of my divine office in his name, along with, of course, this symbol that I also have around my neck.
Hello,
Oh,
Val.
you made it!
Hey, we were bugging
Hey.
boyfriend man.
Nice.
Yeah, boyfriend man cast summon.
Welcome.
Sounds. Which
Sorry.
makes sense, because it sounds like we woke you up, which I apologize for.
No. I mean, yes.
You're like super sleepy sounding. No, I'm not sleepy.
Oh.
I'm setting my alarm for this now.
I'm sorry, Val. Probably did not get enough sleep.
I'm a terrible person.
No.
Why are you a terrible person?
No, I'm usually up by 3 p.m.
Stuff happens.
You know, life and sleeping is important.
Oh, I get. Oh, you know what happened is I didn't change my alarm from 3:30. That's what happened.
Ah, yeah, because we changed the start time.
Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry.
One sec.
Thanks for ruining everything, Kava.
Yeah, I know. I get that a lot.
Don't worry, I can share the burden as next
yeah,
week.
yeah. You're gonna be at least Bubba's gonna thank me for the earlier start time.
That was my kind of
Yeah.
my reasoning for the change is it fit with my schedule, and I was like, there's gonna be 2 of you who are gonna be suffering. Change.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of sleep.
Figured if I
I mean, unfortunately, it does mean the US players have to be awake by 3 p.m. Which is a bit of a tall order sometimes.
pens because I dropped all of them on the floor.
You didn't miss much. All we did was just arrive at the market.
Oh, are there cute birds?
There is a cute cat costume.
This is a cosplayer of some kind.
So I have a picture of the marketplace, except for the marketplace walls are a glowing blue crystal flecked with a gold pyrite, so it kind of looks almost like the night sky.
Awesome. This is clearly an omen.
Oh god, if Sin was here.
Of what? Beldek looks a little concerned.
D&D,
We must
actual
serve the Raven Queen.
actual D&D player cosplay as like normal people in like hoodies and sweatpants and stuff. They go to
There's-
conventions where they pretend to be like accountants and middle managers and
Accountants and middle managers in D&D.
So Kakofany is gonna say to Barrack, I don't really understand what you're looking for here.
Well, if memory serves, Sehanine is a goddess of the moons, and so anything with that sort of imagery, or perhaps crystals of some kind, maybe something elven. I'm really I want to find something fitting, but I'm at a bit of a loss as to where it might be.
I think you should get her booze.
Or moonstones.
Also, good booze may work as well. But moonstones I like the idea of. Do you know where I might find such items, friend?
Would he know where to find them?
Yes, streetwise check.
Okay. Oh no, now I have to close the picture. It's so pretty.
I put it up so you can all still see
Okay.
it.
Okay. I'm fine.
10. You know where you sell the jewelry that you're given? They might have some there.
I know a pawn shop that buys jewelry that I get.
Fantastic! That'll work for a solid start. Can you lead the way there, friend?
Yeah, yes, I can. Beldek gets a little caught up in Barrick's enthusiasm. He's normally a pretty, not a stern person, but he's not an enthusiastic person, but it's just contagious.
This is kind of like going on an adventure!
So the pawn shop is kind of like in the middle of the vendors area and like kind of not necessarily like a back street because there isn't really streets, but it's sort of like off to the side. And there's this kind of like grouchy gnome that works there. He seems to be frowning all the time. You've never once seen him smile.
Hi.
It's you.
I'm
What do you want?
back.
Got something else to sell?
No, my friend here is looking for Moonstone.
Greetings, citizen!
Gives you this look of like pure contempt.
My Saiyan needs righteous flame!
Owls even more.
My Palo is righteous flame!
Not your friend. What was it you were looking for again?
Moonstones.
Moonstones. And he pulls out this book, flips through the book. He goes, I got a couple of those. They ain't cheap though.
Well, perhaps we could strike some sort of barter, then. You see, I'm a bit strapped for cash, as it were, and so I would be happy to provide you any sort of service for the goods, so to speak.
How you doing today,
Don't
boss?
say it like that. Lex says it really quietly.
Why not?
Do you know what I do? He knows too.
Oh! Not those kinds of services or goods, my fine fellow.
Trading services is no problem.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at you. A good once over. And says, that kind of stuff here. I'm looking for cash. Or I'm looking for something to trade. Something of equal or more value.
Barrick begins digging through some of his belt pouches and purses and he has one big main bag that he carries around, so he starts rifling through things.
Perhaps, sir, you could tell us the price.
Ah, yes. Well, there's this little one, and he pulls out this probably sized crystal. It's not attached to anything. It's just the pure stone.
Ice cream and hot
And he goes,
sauce.
this one's...
What?
Pulls out another one, and it's about the same size, but it's attached to this very pretty necklace that has a bunch of other little ones on the side. And he says, this here's gold.
Did anybody
He pulled
hear
out another...
what either of them were cost?
No.
I heard 100 gold for the necklace.
Necklace is 100 gold. The smaller, just straight up crystal was 35 gold.
Oh my goodness.
He pulls out a moonstone that's about the size of a fist, just a pure rock. He puts that on the counter and says, "And this here beauty is 600 gold."
Beldek is enthralled with the giant stone.
Could you break a little piece off of one of those and sell it for just a few gold?
Can get you more than dust, and I'm not breaking these. They're valuable. And he's like, "What are you after here? Are you here to do
Beric
business?"
finally looks up and proudly proclaims, "I have 8 gold pieces for you, my good man. What will that buy?"
Or to like a small little like box in the corner that has like a sign over it that says "Junk you can buy." Anything that's in there. Won't be a moonstone though, that's for sure.
I'll take a look. And Beric walks over to the box and begins sifting through the contents.
Like a lot of like bowls and there's like a ball of lint, rubber, like the D&D equivalent of rubber bands, and some.
Beric!
It literally is junk that he's just selling.
You can't buy junk for goddess!
Yes, I know. One man's junk is another man's, anyway.
It's still junk.
The point is, I was hopeful. You never know where something beautiful can be found, but it appears that this box is not one of those places.
The guy behind the counter looks over at you and says, "This is some sort of joke. You bring your friends here, you don't got anything to sell, and you got no money."
Come on. You can't give him just a little bit of a discount.
Frowns deeply and says, "You know I don't do discounts."
You know how often I come here bringing you the greatest jewelry you've ever seen.
Sir, perhaps you have some sort of issue that I might be able to assist in resolving? Maybe some rats plaguing your shop, or demons nearby attacking trade caravans. I'm very good at that sort of thing.
And slugs.
Oh.
Wow.
We are experts in slugs.
He like frowns deeply and he says, "I'm not going to give you any sort of discount. What I will say is 4 doors down to the left. Can't miss it. It's got these big glowing lights outside of it. There's a dude in a cat costume. Contest going on."
Wait, that was a costume?
That was a costume. Did you think there was a giant cat walking around?
I have to say, I am now quite disappointed, but such is the way of the world.
Anyway, there's a contest going on, and it's driving all the attention to that shop and away from mine. If you can get that contest over, so people start coming back here, get you a deal, a good deal.
Alright, I'll go take a look at things. Maybe, see what I can do.
Are you gonna look at anything else in the shop, or are you guys gonna just head over there?
Beldek's gonna make a face at the shop owner before leaving.
It's your face.
Barrick is just gonna go check out the other shop, because he really doesn't have anything he can barter with, so.
Just his muscles.
Not even a lot of those.
You head over to the shop, and this is just like tent type thing. It's got all of these glowing lanterns in front, and there's this guy in like a now much more obvious because you've been told cat costume up front, playing a very large collection of all sorts of different crystals. Orbs and that sort of thing. It says, hello, friends! Step right up. Test here, really good contest. Indeed.
What a contest!
You ask, sir, it's quite simple. You see this box over here? And he points to this, like, big chest. Where you can guess what's in the box, and if you guess correctly, you can have whatever's in it, or 50% off everything in my shop.
It's a crystal?
Well, you have to pay to guess. Only 3 copper.
What? That's stupid.
Are you sure about that, sir? You never know what's in the box. Could be anything.
Surely you wouldn't expect passers-by such as ourselves to simply guess at all of the many wondrous things in the world that could be in a box such as that. Why, there could be nothing in it at all.
Haha, I'm glad you said so. Well, I can always give you a clue. Of course, there's a cost, but...
What's the cost with the clue?
1 copper per clue.
This doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would we give you money to guess what's in a box?
Money to guess what's in the box? Well, I'll tell you, sir, what's in this box is a wondrous item. A very, very wondrous item. Something that could change your very life for the better.
Why are you giving it away then?
I have no need for such an item as this. You see, I don't really city very much, and what am I going to do with an item that I would need outside the city if I'm not going to be in the city?
Kakofany begins conferring in hushed tones with Gloomscale about this situation.
Can you describe the box?
It's about the size of
A bread box?
the size of a bread box, yes, and it's black box. It's made of like a black sort of dark wood. Got like a pretty simple latch. It doesn't seem like anything all that spectacular. Like there's like a big glowing like enchantment over top of it that says, "Guess what's in the box and win a cool prize."
Barrick, as always when trying to be surreptitious, raises one hand very conspicuously to his mouth and whispers to Kuhn, well, Kuhn, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
You forget I can speak in your head.
Right! And then he gets a look of like fierce concentration on his face as he mentally responds, what better way to end a contest than to win it, am I right?
Yes.
I thought so. And then he turns to the others and says, does anyone have change for a gold piece?
Beldak kind of like digs through his pockets and he's like, I've got a bunch of copper you can just have. I'm not using them. It's like maybe 7 copper.
You are a gentleman and a scholar, friend.
I am. Want to know what's in that box too?
Then
Perhaps.
shall we guess together in jolly cooperation to solve this puzzle?
I love him.
Hashtag jolly cooperation.
No, you can go ahead and guess. I don't think I got any idea, other than maybe a mask.
It's probably a
Perhaps,
folded up dead
sir.
body.
We would like to purchase hints.
To purchase a hint. I see. Well, like to purchase a hint. Would you like a, or just a hint? But
Would we like a what or a hint? I'm not sure I caught that.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
I just heard a laugh.
okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. I fixed it. A riddle or a hint, or just a plain hint.
A riddle, please.
Oh. My tab closed.
I keep thinking of all these things to say, but then I think, oh wait, Kakofany's too dumb to think of that.
Too dumb.
It's
You
actually
see
really-
me. So the
Sorry, go
guy
ahead.
kind of like laughs and smiles and says, "Water, but I never get wet."
Could you repeat that?
In water, but I never get wet.
Reflection?
Thank you, Val, for writing it down. I was about to type it in the chat.
Do fish get wet?
Yeah, yes, they get wet.
All right, I wanted to make sure.
I think it's a reflection. What does other people think?
What's a reflection?
It's what you see when you look in a mirror.
But how would simply a reflection be placed inside of a box?
Maybe it's a mirror.
Yeah.
What good is a mirror on the outside, though? They're more useful when coming into a city to make sure that you are presentable.
That's a good point.
Kakofany like mirrors.
Unless it's a magic mirror, in which case it could be very useful when traveling.
The guy is not saying anything. He's just like smiling and juggling his little orbs.
Beldak is pondering. This is the problem with playing a character that's smarter than I am. He should be able to figure it out.
This is the problem with playing a character that's so much dumber than I am. Well, it's weird too because my character's got like super high diplomacy, but my intelligence is so low. I think of all these like diplomatic things to say, then I'm like, no, my character wouldn't think of that though.
I can write it down for later on because I realized I forgot to write it down. What's everyone's passive perception and insight?
Both 14 for Kakofany.
Yeah, 14 both for Beldak.
Excellent.
What's up, Nox? Welcome.
Is passive 10 plus score?
Plus
Or-
score. High passive insight. Forgot about that. Is that 18 for the insight?
21 for insight.
Okay. Both your insights are so high. Both of you get the feeling there's something up. Both Hune and Barak, you get the feeling there's something up with this shopkeeper.
Simon has 25 perception? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's basically mine plus 2.
Well, he can definitely smell food a mile away.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell there's definitely something up with this shopkeeper.
Hmm.
So just guess mirror and we win, right?
I get the feeling it won't be that simple.
Do we have direction to be suspicious about the shopkeeper?
Nox, there was a
You
story about
definitely
cows.
think that the riddle is way too easy for this kind of challenge, because this type of challenge would definitely be as much money as possible by duping people into getting the wrong answer.
There was a whole big discussion about cows, in fact. You might have heard this story
Might we
already,
purchase a second riddle?
Second riddle, you say? Of course, of course. He stops juggling and catches all the balls, and he says, I bring serenity and hang around the stars, but yet I live in misery. You'll find me behind bars. With thieves and villains I consort in prison. I'll be found, but I will never go to court unless there's more than one. Discord.
I suggest typing that because, wow.
I typed it all out. It's right there.
Um,
like chuckles and keeps juggling his like little balls. Those of you with high passive perception or passive insight can tell he's just enjoying your frustration immensely.
Oh, this is beyond me.
Well, I'm no longer thinking of mirrors.
No.
He starts laughing and says, "Do you need another clue? Is this riddle too hard for you?"
Could just make him stop the contest another way.
What would your suggestion for that be, friend?
I could terrify him with the might of the dragons.
It's very scary.
Indeed you could, and I'd cause quite a ruckus in this marketplace, but I don't feel it wise to try and send a shopkeeper running for the hills simply because he's trying to drum up appreciation and business for his shop.
Well, when you put
Besides,
it that way.
Besides, I must say I'm quite intrigued by these riddles. They have me thinking and pondering very deeply. Perhaps one more clue, my good man.
Say, are you sure you want one more? I have a very, very good clue, but this one isn't cheap.
What would it run for such a clue?
It's 1 silver.
Ah!
For this clue.
I kind of want to punch this guy.
Do you hand over the silver?
I mean, Barrack can't because he doesn't actually, like, I'm assuming Beldak handed him the coppers, but Barrack doesn't have any silvers on him.
Yeah, Beldak's just got change.
Stay your hands for now, my draconian friend.
If you want to give me a gold, I'll give you 2 very good clues.
But you were just offered a single fine clue for only a single silver. And I should think that one sufficient clue may be enough for us to solve this riddle and guess what's in that box.
But how do you truly know, my fine sir? Easier to give the extra and have that second clue in case you need it.
It would still be cheaper than the purchases at the other stall that we saw. What do you think, Kuhn? You're always good with our purses.
Water. Val went to go get water. just laughs and says, I'm giving you a good deal here for these 2 clues, you know. Very good clues. Don't want to know what's in the box. You could always.
Yeah, I thought you might have heard that story back in the Sands of Slavery game.
How about you
Max.
make
No, I don't want to roll for it or anything. I'm just thinking. I was piecing it together myself, and I realized it, and I was like, oh man. But now, mostly it's just a matter of, if I want to take a look at, I don't know, Barrack is waiting to see if Kuhn has any input on paying the gold for 2 more fine quality premium clues.
Sorry, I just got back. I needed to do my morning things. Did we discuss any other clues towards this riddle?
the guy is offering you 2 more really good riddles.
A premium riddles?
Premium.
2 premium riddles for 1 gold piece. Barrack made the comment that that's still cheaper than anything we were looking at the pawn shop.
Perhaps, though, we might be better off
I'm alright, Nox.
combining
you?
our resources in a more honest way.
What are you suggesting, Kuhn?
Purchasing the necklace outright. But riddles are fun.
I also must admit I'm very interested in trying to find out what lies within that mysterious box there.
It's probably just a pile of dung.
Very well. I've made my choice. Here, have your gold piece, riddle man, and give me my fine clues so that I may solve your question.
He gives you 1 more riddle. So you guys, and I'll read it. With sharp-edged wit and pointed pose, I can settle disputes without making a noise. What am I? And then he also says, self will give you a clue. And he gestures to the cavern.
Knife?
I would just like to point out here, Baba, that you're the one who's guessed all the answers to the riddles, and you thought you were too stupid to do any of it.
I'm not saying they're right. But
I'm just saying.
I mean, I didn't pick particularly extremely challenging riddles.
A reflection.
What was that 4th clue again? He
Look at
gestured to something?
Cavern itself, or the room, the marketplace itself. perception check. Oh.
Barak very studiously looks around the room.
So you look around the room and you look at the marketplace. Nothing particularly stands out to you. But when you look at the walls, the specific level of this tower, you realize it's set up. It's all lighted by the walls, which look like the night, except for there's this one big window that's there to replicate the sun, and one on the other side of the building to replicate the moon. So it's almost like the sky with night and day. The guy just keeps juggling around with his little orbs, and he says, this is a tricky challenge, ain't it, my friends? We can't figure it out now, can you?
Indeed, it is tricky, but perhaps not tricky enough. Allow us a moment to consort, fine fellow, and then we shall give you our guess.
Of course. Take all the time you need. I'll be here all day, all week even.
Kakofany, find these riddles confusing.
As do I, but if memory serves, riddles are not usually about what they're about, if you take my meaning.
I don't.
I recall hearing a great many riddles in my past, and I've mostly through hearsay, spending time, passing long evenings, but I'm trying to remember any answers. I don't recall these riddles, however. But other riddles, well, they usually deal with something beyond what the words would suggest.
I got a reflection, a knife, and I don't get the other one.
Well, think about that second riddle then, friend. It's true I bring serenity and hang around the stars.
I thought the moon, but moons don't go to court.
Indeed, and I first thought darkness, something with which I am very familiar. Hanging around the stars, living in misery, consorting with thieves and villains in prisons, but that doesn't match up with the court either. But that final line, I would never go to court unless there's more than one. More than one of what? More than one of the item? Or more than one of the court?
I don't get it.
And you see like a couple of other people go up to the stall and pay a couple copper, and from they sit around for a while there, and then they make a couple more purchases. It seems like this is a pretty popular thing because a lot of people seem to be guessing and failing.
What are some of the other guesses?
One guess, you hear a couple of people guess that it's a mirror, which is they said is wrong. You hear a couple of people guess that it's, and that's said to be wrong. That it's a set of rings, which they're told is wrong.
This guy making a lot of money like this.
And one person comes up and guesses that it's a plate of spaghetti. The guy running the cart running the stall laughs a lot. Says is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What you do see is each one of those people only purchased one clue. Different one of the 3 clues that you were given.
Well, if there's more than one court, it becomes courts. Yes? Is there another term for more than one court?
Not that I know of. Kakofany.
What? We not know.
You never know.
Courts.
What is court?
It's where a
A
bunch of
place
fancy people meet.
It is a place of justice and righteousness. But, unless there's more than one courts. The only difference is. Wait a minute. And Barak spins and thrusts a finger forward at the man. I bring serenity, hang around stars, live in misery, find me behind bars, never go to court unless there's more than one. The answer to your second riddle is the letter S.
What?
What?
I just
I
sit there
think-
trying to figure this out.
I think that's it anyway. It's the only answer that makes sense to me.
Kind of like smiles and says, "Guesses cost 3 copper."
Well, that's not my entire guess for what's in the box. Obviously, the box won't contain the letter S, but I was thinking out loud.
I think you are right, Gran.
Well, now the matter is simply what we can determine from everything else, the other riddles that he's put forward.
If they are all letters,
I don't understand. Sword made of mirror?
the first one would be an A or an R.
Indeed. but it couldn't be both, could it? And such a fine riddler as he, would he give us 2 clues with the same sort of solution?
Tell you what, and the guy looks over you and he says, tell you what, my friend, since you've been so generous with all your... It's something simpler. When you think of the first clue, perhaps you need to look at it from a different angle. Perhaps it's not simply what it is, but what it is does.
Beldak just stares at him.
If someone tried to do riddles like this back home in Silverfang Tribe, they would get beat up.
What does it do?
I'm gonna take a break and let you guys think about this riddle, and I'm gonna jump in-game over to the park area with Simon. So, is Kava still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So you come to this big garden area. There's all these trees and plants and a whole bunch of grass, ice. It's kind of off in a corner, like it was there as a second thought.
Okay.
It's very, very pretty, and there's like these 3 gardeners there, and they're very carefully trimming one of the trees there with a lot of precision.
And is there a grove of tree? It's a public park, right? It's not private?
Park, yes.
And is there a grove of trees with nearby grasses and flowers that's away from the gardeners?
It doesn't actually, it's not a very big park for a park. It seems like most of the real estate in the city is filled with people.
Mm-hmm.
Be a whole bunch of a very big like wooded area over a little farther yonder, but you can tell with your perception that these seem to be like living spaces for some sort of creatures.
Oh, the wooded areas seem to be living areas for creatures?
Yeah, living quarters. Like there's a lot of big trees, but they seem to have been made into like tree houses and things like that.
Okay, so he simply looks for a single tree that's maybe apart from the living quarters and far enough away from the gardeners that he has some sort of privacy.
And it's not the most ideal, but you can tell it's the best you're gonna get.
Okay, and he simply sits cross-legged on the grass, draws his cowl over his head, so far over his head that he can remove the respirator mask and his face not be visible. And, you know, just sitting there with his head bowed, he meditates. And while he meditates, his hands pluck grasses one and then another and then another, and just as he's in this meditative state, his fingers nimbly start twining these grasses together and weaving them into a shape. And he does this for some time while Simon just lounges nearby and just glances around.
And how long are you planning on doing this for?
How long? So when were we going to meet Sehanine? What was the arrangement?
You're going to meet her in the evenings, and it's morning.
And it's morning. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he does this for... Is Buddy with him?
And Buddy said that she would meet up later, and
She's
she'll
meeting up.
find you.
So he does this for a couple of hours.
So you've been sitting there for maybe about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and one of the gardeners starts heading up towards you.
Gardener drama. Here we go.
It's like an elven woman. She looks younger.
Okay, so Simon, as soon as the gardener starts approaching, Simon just telepathically lets Eamon know. He slowly comes out of his trance, puts the mask back on, and draws the cowl off his head. And looking down in his hands, it appears as though he's made a small bowl out of these grasses. He's woven them together with surprising precision and craftsmanship, and he has a fully formed bowl of grass in his hands.
The lady walks up to you and she says, excuse me, sir. Sorry to bother you, but we're not really supposed to let people pick the grass here.
Garden gnome.
You seem so enthralled. I didn't really want to bother you, but supervisors came and told me I'm not supposed to let you do that.
Eamon just smiles. You can only see the smile in his eyes, the rest of his face being obscured, but he looks up at the girl and says, apologies. It has been some time since I was surrounded by nature.
The hell is that, boss?
And be assured, I will return that which I've taken, in kind. And he simply holds her gaze, just very calmly.
She smiles at you and she says, I appreciate you doing that, but that won't be necessary. I'll later.
And go on.
I really recommend you not do that. Problem, but we tend to get in trouble when it happens.
Very well, girl. I shall only require one more thing.
What might that be?
A flower, unripened, fragile.
Thinks about it for a minute, and then she I think I know the perfect one. Scampers off, and she comes back with flower bud of some kind.
She comes back with what?
Like a little with some sort of flower bud.
Okay. And he reaches down and cups some soil in his hands, pours the soil carefully into this bowl that he's constructed. And as he takes the flower in his hands, its roots almost seem to wave and come to life. And he places it within the soil, and immediately its roots extend deep within this transplanted soil. My thanks. And standing up, he walks over to where they were working, whispers a few words under his breath, and casting Verdant Bounty, just this gorgeous panoply of flowers and plants rises from the ground.
Girl looks at you and she's like has this like look of awe in her eyes, and she smiles and she says, "Incredible! Are you gonna come back anytime soon, sir?"
I will do my best. And he secretes the bowl within one of the folds of his robe. Nods his head. It is
Oh, go ahead.
true. Go on.
Well, if you're ever back in this area, my name's Alan. I live in the tree houses over there, and I'm certain you could come and be in our garden anytime. Like you.
He pauses, rests his hands in his head on the staff. Ellen, thank you for your generosity, and never forget that in this time, when the land suffers so deeply, that you are blessed to be surrounded by the rich vibrancy of nature and the spirits of the ground and the trees. And I bid you farewell. He turns, heads back towards the brothel, and Simon lazily lopes behind him.
All right. So we move back to our up in the district who have been contemplating these riddles for a while. Also, Paranoid says, yes, those are so good. Damn. I've just been juggling this whole time and just like smiling. It's almost infuriating if him and getting frustrated.
It's a really weird gas, boss.
Well, have any of you a more developed opinion of what this might be? The answer to the riddle?
None.
Sword made out of mirror.
Very well. Friend Beldak, are those copper coins of yours freely given that we might use them in this
Oh, yeah.
guess?
Use it.
All right. Then watch as the hand of Pelor and his guiding light brings my mind to a solution that hopefully will be the correct one.
Yay!
His divine prominence fills me and guides me towards but one solution to these riddles, the very solution to the riddle which brought us here to the market in the first place. Riddle Man! And Barrack steps up and again thrusts his finger forward.
Yes, my good sir.
I have my guess for what lies within that box of yours.
Indeed, and what might that be?
By these 3 coppers and Pelor's guiding light, it must be a moonstone!
Frowns and laughs a little bit and says, I enjoy your guess greatly, sir, but you are very much wrong.
Prove it.
I'm a man of my word.
How do we
Prove
know
it.
that you not say that it's wrong, but it actually is not?
Make an insight check to see if he's lying. Not lying. You got the answer wrong.
Oh.
You can tell us that he's quite amused by your answer, though.
Oh, I see. The fault is not with Paylor, it is mine own. Very well, here are your 3 coppers, friend.
Don't feel bad about Paylor not telling you.
Wait.
We've been asking Gloomscale and not telling us either.
He takes the coins and says, such a pity. It's a good guess, though. Quite a good guess. I mean, you're on the right track.
What's the cheapest stuff you got here, anyway?
This stuff, well, it depends on what you're looking for.
Crystals, moonstones.
Oh, moonstones. I think. Don't really have any of those. They aren't easy to get your hands on.
What about regular crystals?
Crystals, well, we've got some cheaper garden variety crystals. They a few silvers to quite a few gold.
Hmm. You might have to settle for something that isn't a moonstone.
I told you, buy a bottle of booze.
I'm well aware of the potential need for settling, but now more than ever I'm confounded by this riddle. I was hopeful for sure that that would be the answer to the whole reason we were here.
It's probably like a piece of broken glass or something.
Hey. It stabs, it reflects. Got some S in it.
Probably something useless. This guy just cheating people. Taking all their money for dumb riddles that don't make no sense. He's making me angry.
Don't break anything. We don't have money to pay for it.
Be quite frustrated with my riddle, sir, but I do promise you there's plenty of other lovely things in my shop if you can't seem to figure it out. I'm certain if you're looking for a gift or some sort, you inside. No need to fuss over some silly riddle.
Very well, I shall peruse your wares, and perhaps dwell more on your riddles in the meanwhile.
Don't buy anything from this guy. He's not good. Tricking people.
And that's the best passive perception in this group. While Barrack is perusing the shops, there's another young lady who comes up and she pays clue. And she gets the first clue. at it for a while, and she gives man to make a guess. She says that it's 2 mirrors. Asks and says that's wrong, and she frowns and is very sad and walks off.
Your contest making people unhappy. You should stop.
Huh, unhappy, you say? Just watch, that girl will be back later with another guess for that riddle. She's been doing it all day.
And you keep taking her money. And then even if she wins, she gets some useless thing. It's not nice. Galarian Notha would not like this.
My good sir, I don't put useless things in my contests. If people win fair and square, I give them something good. You have my word on that.
Maybe we can make him feel bad and talk him out of the contest.
Kakofany sings a little song. He sings in Draconic, so you don't understand the words unless you speak Draconic, but I'll sing it in English because Josiah doesn't sing in Draconic.
That's your homework for next week. Learn Draconic.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Even though my voice is quite shrill, they all bend to my awesome will. What I want in their heart and still, when they obey, it's such a thrill. And I'm using Words of Wrath to give myself a bonus to an Intimidate check. And I'm going to say to him, puffing up to my full size, letting my draconic charisma exude from me. This contest is bad and wrong, and you will stop doing it right now. I'm not going to ask you again. And I snarl at him. And I'm going to make an Intimidate check. I get +5 from Words of Wrath, and I normally have a +15. So, that's a 35 on Intimidate.
Oh my god.
The guy is very concerned with you, and starts looking very mad and says, "Sir, I won't have you being around here and screwing up my business, and I have to ask you to leave or I'm going to call the authorities and have them escort you away."
You gotta stop the contest!
Very nervous. He's like, why would I do that, Mr. Dragon Man, sir, creature?
'Cause otherwise I'm just gonna smash that box!
Like, slightly frightened, and he says, for this, and he, like, marches off to the back, and he says, and he, like, calls out a name, and this other person comes out. I quit! You finish running this stupid thing! I'm done with this! And you see the guy take off the, like, hat, head, and it's just this, like, little elven, like, half-elf guy, and he's like, I quit this job! And he runs off into the back crying.
Oh, great. He's like 15, this is his first job.
Yeah. There's this, like, tall, or not tall, he's dwarven, but this dwarven guy who walks up to you and he says, "You made my shop boy cry!"
I'll make you cry next!
Sir?
You cancel this contest, it's not right!
Right, sir.
I make a big scene! So, what is he doing?
One sec.
This puzzle's driving me insane.
I've managed to scare a young man out of his job, so that's a good start.
Man out of his job, and now the shopkeep seems very angry. It looked like he's walking over to like where he's like about to he's like trying. He started the shop.
Your mic is kind of breaking up a bunch.
There.
I don't know if you're trying to talk, but if you are, I can't hear you at least. $35 intimidate though.
There. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Yeah. I can
There
hear
we
you
go.
now.
Okay, fixed. I can't really use Discord on my computer. It just doesn't work. He starts trying to like shoo you out of the store. Away from his booth. You're not exactly sure if what he's going to do, if he's going to like shut down the shop or if he's just trying to shoo you away. But he seems like very nervous and unsettled, and he just doesn't want to be around you.
You shut this down! No more contest!
And he looks at you frankly and he says, "I have to run this contest. I have to make enough money to pay my stupid rent in this darn market, and then I need to get rid of this item that I have in this dumb chest."
What do you mean you have to get rid of it? Oh, now you're trying to give away something bad!
We would be happy to take it off your hands if it's that important to you.
Don't volunteer to take it! It could be something bad!
I don't know. You really want this thing? Don't even know what it is, and you're offering to take it.
Sometimes in the hoard that Gloomskill had, there were some items which were magical, and they looked very cool, but he told me make sure never touch them because they had curse on them. This could be something like that.
I believe it is the will of not one but two gods which has brought me to this stand today. And so I will put my faith into Pelor and into Sehanine and Pelor's will guiding me to her, that whatever lies within this box will be beneficial to my quest.
Well, alright, if you're sure, but it'll be on two of you, and you won't be able to get out of it that easily. Trust me on that.
It's not me! I don't accept it!
Might you describe more of what you mean by that statement, friend?
And he frowns deeply, and he says, "I can't say much. You'll understand when you see it. But it's on two of you."
Well, show us!
I ain't showing you nothing until two of you agree.
Very well. I will step forward. If it is a burden to a citizen of this land, then it is my duty to assist you in relieving yourself of such a burden. Would any stand with me?
Alright, fine! I'll do it just so that nobody else has to take it.
Good man.
This is probably a really bad idea.
He looks
seems
you up
really
and down
eager
and
to
says,
get rid of it.
I don't
If I had
trust
a
you.
copper for every time someone told me an idea was probably bad, I would be able to donate many, many riches to the poor of the land.
He looks you, Kakofany, up and down and says, I don't trust you. Even if I need to get rid of this thing, I ain't giving it to you.
Fine!
Fine. And Beldak steps forward.
And he looks you up and down and he says, I know you.
What?
And then you recognize this man. This is one of your regular customers
Uh-oh.
at the brothel. And he says, well, I'd give it to you, but frankly, I doubt you'd be working anymore if I did, and kind of like visiting, and...
Oh.
See? This is something bad. It stopped you from working. I should just take that box and smash it.
I'm not so sure, friend. With the line of work that pair of you are in, perhaps it's not that bad a thing after all.
What did that supposed to mean?
Nothing. No. Your line of work is very important. I'm simply stating that an item which would keep you from pleasing your clients may not be that great a curse to others, depending on its nature.
Probably give you some kind of bad disease or something. Is Val still here? She hasn't said anything in forever.
Vol is here. Vol is not feeling very smart.
Oh. You okay, Val?
No, I'm fine.
Well, if I ain't got two of you, then I guess I gotta keep running this contest now, don't I? Unless you want to guess.
Could I not take both items within if it is a matched pair of some kind?
No, it needs to be two different people. That's what the lady said when I got them.
What lady?
I
You
will
don't-
stand with my friend.
He looks you up and down and says, You sure? You don't really seem to be the type to be traveling with this guy. He seems way too peppy.
We are doing joyous cooperation.
Indeed we are.
All right. If you say so. Do I have your word, both of you, that you ain't gonna back off as soon as I show you what's in this box?
You have my word, and my word is my bond.
Agreed.
You have my word that if you do something bad to them, I'm going to smash you in head.
He frowns, but he goes over and he opens the box. And he pulls out, if I can find this stupid picture.
Ooh, it's picture time.
I'm gonna put it on Roll20 because I realized I forgot, or not on Roll20, on
Ooh.
Discord.
Awesome!
That doesn't look bad.
I know which one I get.
One's got a sun and one's got a moon. That's perfect.
And he holds out the box and he just says, "Take them, just take them."
Those actually look nice. I don't understand why you're trying to get rid of them.
Well, Kyun, riddle me this. Which one shall you take, and which one shall I?
Your choice.
Ah, well, I think the choice has already been made for me. And Barrick reaches in and he grabs the one that has the sort of sun pattern on it.
And it disintegrates you.
Ah! Curse you, Tomb of Horrors. Not again.
I will take the moon.
All right. So I realized when I made the card, I forgot to add a piece of instruction. So I'll give you the item card, but there's one other thing that it does. So it's the second you both hold the sword in, or they're like very small. They're like daggers. The second you hold them in your hand, you have this weird moment where you're looking around, but everything right through your eyes.
Everything what?
Everything starts looking really wrong, like with your vision.
And before Chastity Belt knocks.
That's... What is this doing to me?
And specifically for Barak, everything suddenly loses, like, the way it looks visually becomes very strange. You can, like, tell what all the objects around you are and what color they are, but you don't physically see the objects so much as perceive what they are and where they are and what color they are. And for Kuhn, suddenly you like physically see these objects. It's no longer you're perceiving them, but it's as if you can see them in a completely different way.
Oh.
By the golden rays of the Sun Father, what's happened to my vision?
By the golden rays of the Sun Father!
And the guy just looks at you and says, "Don't say I didn't warn you." Well, that'll be all. And he immediately starts shutting down his shop.
Wait, sir!
Wow.
Is there at least a scabbard for... Are there scabbards for these weapons?
He chucks something at you as he closes the door.
Barrick looks down and is it like a sheath for the knives?
Yeah, it's a sheath for the knife. It's a pretty unspecified sheath. It's just like a very simple piece of leather.
Alright, Barrick slides the knife away in the sheath and then straps it to his belt.
The second you let go of the knife, your vision goes back to normal.
So, how are we gonna honestly guess? It's two knives, one with the sun on it and one with the moon on it.
So it was sun and moon, reflection 2, and then sword. The S to make sure you realize that it was a sword, and then the dagger riddle. It's a challenging riddle, which is why I gave you other ways to get it, in case you didn't get it right. So you now have these items. So mechanically what they do is they do that ability, that spell, and then they also give you they give you essentially farsight with the ability to see 10 squares from the person holding the other dagger.
Ooh, that'd be really weird.
Yeah, that would help explain the weird vision and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that part just like always on when we have them? Like if
When you're
we
holding
are
the
each
dagger,
holding it?
if you're holding it in your hand, that immediately happens.
Okay. All right, so yeah, for right now, Barrick just, slides it in the sheath, belts the sheath on, and then shakes his head to clear his vision and looks around again. Well, that was certainly interesting. And
I'm
not
gonna
what
keep
I
holding
expected.
mine.
You're gonna keep holding yours? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you're perceiving the world exactly how a humanoid or a human would perceive it now when you're holding it.
This is strange
Kyun.
and awesome.
Kyun, does that knife not disrupt your sense of sight? Mine was most disorienting.
It is quite fascinating.
All right, well, I will leave you to it then. Here is the sheath for your weapon. Whenever you should care to slide it away, I leave it to you.
No, they're not that bad, huh?
It's like you have a shard mind on hallucinogens.
Indeed. So you do that, and the guys close down his shop, and the contest is over because you have the item in your hand.
Well,
We handled that.
yes, I was going to say, it seems the contest is now finished. Well done, friend. We may not have correctly guessed the answer, but you still saw us through to fulfilling the task set before us.
Well, like I always say, when you don't know the answer, make a new answer.
A wise way to live in these troubling times. Shall we return to our friend the pawnbroker and discuss matters with him?
I guess, but I still think you should just get a bottle of booze.
So you return to the pawn shop, and the guy looks up when you walk in, and he says, "Did you do it?"
The contest is finished, and the shop is indeed closed for the time being. I should think more business will be coming your way soon.
He looks you up and down and says, "All right, you did good, you did good. Here's what I'll do. You wanted the necklace, right?"
That would be my prime goal, yes?
Well, I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do for you. Give you the necklace, but you do your shopping for any kind of gems and magical items from here from now on.
Sir, I can say truly that should I ever have need of gemstones or items of this kind in the future, I will return to you.
You're a good man, sir, and I like you. And he hands out the necklace and offers it to you. Here you go.
You have my deepest thanks, and the thanks of Paylor as well. And Barak takes the necklace.
We did it. Indeed. All right, now get out of here before I change my mind.
I bid you good day, sir, and we shall be on our way.
Yeah, good day, schma day, whatever. So you now have the necklace, and you now have a couple of really snazzy, cool daggers.
Beric quickly sets the necklace into one of his pouches to keep it safe.
All right.
Well, I believe we've found a suitable gift in terms of moonstones or gems of illustrious nature, and we still have some coin in our pockets. Tell me, friend Kakofany, where might we find a cellar of booze, as you have suggested?
I don't know, really. Beldak probably know.
I do not think Sehanin needs aid in that area.
True, but being a goddess, does she truly need aid in acquiring a necklace such as this either? I believe the intent of the gift is much greater value than the item itself.
Agreed. But we would like her sober for conversational purposes.
Kakofany just laughs. Good luck with that!
Well, she doesn't need to drink the... If we gift her a bottle, she doesn't need to drink it immediately. Although perhaps she would choose to do so, and there is little I would do to stop such a decision.
I don't think she's ever sober. There's lots of fun, though. You'll see.
I am certain that we will. And, Beldek, where might we find this, salesman of booze?
Well, there's a bar at the brothel.
Do you sell by the bottle?
Well, I don't see why not. Her favorite's bound to be there.
It does strike me as somewhat crass to purchase her a gift from her own establishment, though.
Well, there's other places around.
Why do you think she needs multiple gifts?
Well, my first instinct had been a fine gemstone, some jewelry, and incorporating it, such as this, but a friend here, and he gestures at Kakofany, seems very set on his belief that a bottle of alcohol would be the best gift we might give, and I would hate to err in my selection of gift by simply disregarding his judgment. After all, he has known the goddess longer than I have.
I got no idea. I just came up with an idea off the top of my head. I've never given her a gift.
Has Kakofany actually never given her a gift?
No, I don't think it would have really occurred to him to do so as he's like her employee, so.
True.
He was never like seeking an audience with her like they are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright, so are you going to go acquire booze?
So much scandalous, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Beric,
Scandalous.
he asks if Beldak knows of anywhere that isn't that far away, then certainly he'll, want to swing over at least to see what the prices are like, to maybe pick something up. But if there's nowhere particularly nearby, or if they get there and everything's really expensive, he's just gonna head back with the necklace.
Yeah. So if you want anything of good quality, you're getting up in prices. It seems like, at least for this city, unless you go to an establishment that if you're going for like a bottle or a case, everything's pretty expensive no matter where you go.
All right, then yeah. Barrack probably, spends a little time shopping around, looking at one or two places, but then quickly decides, this is, it's not really something he can afford to do, and that the necklace is already a fine gift, so he's happy with that.
All right. So are you guys just gonna head back to the brothel?
To the brothel!
To the brothel. So it's about, I'm gonna say it's like mid-late afternoon, early evening when you guys all get back, and everyone around arrives back around the same time. Eamon and Simon and Buddy and the big group. You've probably got like an hour maybe before your meeting to like talk. If anyone needs to discuss anything ahead of time.
Ah! Greetings, friend Eamon, Simon the Bear, and, Buddy, was it?
Yep.
Greetings, Barack. I trust that they found you well.
Indeed. A wonderful day it was, a day of solving hardships and aiding the citizenry and finding some most fortunate gifts and items in the marketplace. I trust that your day was just as fruitful.
I could not have wished for a more wonderful day.
It is good to hear. Every day of rest and joy in this land is a blessing, and we should always keep it in our hearts as such.
Why was your day so good? Did you spend some time with one of the courtesans here?
Alas, my friend, they would not take too kindly to me.
Bears are allowed. There's a sign.
If only I was a bear. And you sense that he's smiling behind his mask.
Well, you could be my client. I would not turn you away.
I will keep that in mind. Did you, and he just sort of scans the group, did you find what you were looking for?
I believe we did. We found a necklace of no small radiant beauty, set with the gemstones of the type which I had envisioned when setting out from this place. And we also found other items, and perhaps a new goal or destiny beyond what brought us here, but those are thoughts for another time.
Wait, what is new destiny?
Well, frankly, strange items such as these, and Beric gestures to the knife on his hip, and the knife that Kuhn has as well. Strange items such as these, I do not believe that I would come across such intriguing artifacts without some greater purpose behind it. I have seen far too many things which others would call coincidence in my time to believe in such matters anymore.
Oh, okay.
This does seem fated.
This is good. I sense the spirits walking in our midst, guiding our actions.
Of course there's spirit walking in our midst, guiding actions. And Kakofany points at Gloomscale floating there. Right here, Gloomscale, guiding actions all the time.
All right, so Eamon has never seen Gloomscale. Can you describe Gloomscale?
Yeah, he looks like a miniature black dragon, but in a sort of spiritual form. Just floating around.
Eamon glances for a moment at the overlapping black scales that compose his armor. And then he just looks up at Kakofany and Gloomscale, and he gives a little bow of the head.
Gloomscale very smart. Gloomscale knows everything, but often does not want to tell. Gloomscale kind of a joker. Lot of time not tell me things I need to know until later. But you know, that's how it is with spirit gods.
The spirits, while omniscient, tell us only those things that we need to know. That they feel we need to know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that how it is with Simon?
He just pauses for a moment, ponders, looks at Simon, and then looks back at Kakofany. Simon is different. He is certainly not a spirit, but Simon speaks his mind. That was Simon.
Yeah, I think we figured that. Nice bear sound.
While this conversation is happening, Buddy's gonna sneak up behind Kuhn, but Kuhn will very obviously see what Buddy's doing. Buddy's not very sneaky. And just very gently poke Kuhn. Very gently.
Mm-hmm.
And Kuhn just looks up and immediately or not Kuhn. Buddy immediately looks up and scampers away.
Huh. Quite curious.
So as you're all sitting there, the lady you spoke to before about stuff comes out and yeah, you're the ones who are here to meet Sahinian, right? Yes?
Yes.
I see. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is, we've got a room and she's kind of ready to talk to you. Bad news is she's still very much drunk.
I see.
That's not bad news.
She looks at Kakofany and says, I still question why you're here. I know they said it's okay, but really, you're not supposed to be tailing guests around. And aren't you supposed to be working today?
It's our day off.
It's Kakofany day off. Kakofany entertaining guests even on day off. Right? I entertaining you, right? He looks at Barak.
Yes, you are. You've been very entertaining and helpful throughout the day.
See?
All right.
Miss, these two have been kind enough to escort us in this wonderful city and take us where we need to go and assist us in finding what we need to find.
All right, I suppose. Just remember, and she points to Kakofany, you have a 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Kakofany knows that. Well, actually, I forgot that, but now I know.
Shakes her head. Alright, well, I'll, take you to the back. Just keep in mind, she's really drunk. We tried, but I don't know if you've ever had to, like, try to keep a goddess who wants to drink away from alcohol. It never goes well.
I
I'm
understand,
sure you did your
miss.
best.
You gotta let Sehanin be Sehanin.
There is only so much that a mortal can do in the face of the will of a god.
Alright, and so she leads you upstairs through, like, a corridor and into one of the supreme rooms and this one is everything is purple velvet, but purple velvet animal like tiger print.
Wow, that sounds tacky as fuck.
Tacky. And the ceiling is just covered in a mirror. And there's a disco, and there's like the D&D equivalent of a disco ball hanging from the ceiling.
Oh boy.
It's extremely tacky.
There's a hotel like that here.
I love it.
And Sahini is just like lying on the bed, and there's like 4 empty bottles of wine and a few other, and like a full like cask of beer or ale that's like clearly empty off to the side. And it
Nice.
smells slightly. Well, she's in here. Good luck with your meeting. And the lady walks away.
Kakofany walks in and just like plants his staff down and starts playing some drums and like humming a little jazzy little song.
Kewin will bow.
Barrack also gives a very deep bow.
Can Simon fit through the door?
You'd be amazed where Simon can fit in this place.
Are you there, Stoyla?
I just realized that my mic's been muted, and I have no idea how much you guys heard.
We heard nothing. The last thing we
ugh.
heard you say was she's lying on the bed and there's bottles and there's a cask of beer. That's the last thing.
And it smells. Yeah.
Yeah, it smells really bad, and the lady who brought you there just like walks away. And also I just Josiah, when Kakofany starts playing the drums, can I have you make an acrobatics roll, please?
Acrobatics, okay.
Yes.
That's the traditional way of playing the drums.
Not quite.
Yeah, let's see here. That's not my best thing. Not good.
Rip.
You get struck from 3 different directions with pillows. And
Okay.
Sahinian just goes, cut it down with that freaking racket.
Okay. Sorry.
No. You wanted something, I guess. I don't frickin' know. Just sit wherever. And she just, like, gestures, like, very half-heartedly to the room itself.
Beldak just goes and sits down next to the bed.
Eamon and Simon just try and make themselves inconspicuous against one of the walls.
Lady, there is a matter of grave importance for us to discuss.
When is there not of grave importance to discuss? What is it this time? Is it a flood? Is it a fire? Are the
I will
people
take out
rioting?
the box.
She kind of rolls over, like kind of a drunken haze, and looks at the box. And then suddenly her eyes go like very wide, and it's as if she's like instantly sobered up. And she's like, "Where did you get that?"
From your friend.
That's impossible. She's been dead for 3 years.
No.
She lives yet. Or at least she did as of some months ago. We came upon her in the mists.
You came upon her in the mists.
Living.
That's impossible. I saw the mists tear her apart. My own eyes.
I would not seek to contradict you, but I can only tell you what we saw. We can explain what we witnessed. We found her, or a woman, who had this box and a letter saying that we should meet you here in this city on this day.
She frowns and she says, "Can I see that letter?"
Of course.
Yes.
Kuhn, I believe you still have it?
I do.
And she takes the letter and squints at it for a while. Then, "I did not write this letter. You can tell by my penmanship. I mean, it's far too shoddy to be mine, even when I'm drunk." Which reminds me, did any of you order a cask of ale? Because if not, I'm gonna order one. Because I'm starting to sober up, and I don't want to be sober right now.
I can go get you something.
She looks at you and says, "Oh, good, go. Tell them to put it on my tab."
All right, Kakofany will go to retrieve booze.
Might you explain the significance of this box?
Question: did you close the box, or are you carrying it around open?
I believe we had closed it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she looks at it and said, "I had found that box many, many, many years ago in a temple deep in the Veldish swamp. It was being used by some cultists for some, I don't know what, but it wasn't good. It was easy to dispatch of them, of course, but I fear whatever was in it.
Minesweepers.
It's fortunate that none of us could figure out how to open it."
At the name of the swamp, like Kuhn just sighs in your head loudly.
Yes, I am the swamp.
Unfortunately, the mystery of how to open the box has been solved.
She looks at you with a confused but also very concerned look.
Failed to swamp cultists represent?
the mystery of how to open the box, you say? And what pray tell, would make you think that?
Yeah.
We may have
We're Kakofany as
opened the box.
Her eyes go wide with fear. You did what now?
I can tell from your face that our first thoughts on doing so have been confirmed. And at this point, Barak very quickly, he kneels down on one knee and, bows his head forward onto one forearm and says, I swear that we will do whatever we can in our power, whatever it takes, in this life or the next, to bring good to what we have done, to make up for any harm that we may have caused in doing so. This is why we sought you out. This is why we sought this audience, for we feared that we may have done ill in opening this box.
And she looks at you and says, I'm afraid there's not much you can do if you've opened that box. It took the combined efforts of 8 gods to forge it, to keep what was in there trapped. And even with it, if you've opened it, the magic will be gone. I don't think there's much we can do. Unless...
There is always something that can be done in the face of darkness. There is always light to be found.
Well, I'll
He's
make
up
this
in here
very plain
lecturing
to
a
you,
god.
unless you can get 8 gods to agree to work together to redo it, and then find the creature.
Perhaps you would tell us more of this creature.
It is... She gets this, fearful look in her eyes, which a god who is scared, that is something to be scared of. And she says, it was a being so powerful. Not even the gods could defeat it. It was a creature, black as night. It seemed as if it was made of 1,000 creatures, but yet was one. And it had many eyes and tentacles. It
Tentacles?
was a being of supreme power from far around. That much was sure.
It's Quinn.
Only in capturing it was it possible to keep the madness from spreading more than it already has. This is something far beyond you, far beyond anything.
This creature is responsible for the mists.
We know. No, I don't think he was responsible for the mist, but it seems its existence only seemed to cause it to spread further.
And you let it go.
Oops.
Where is that stupid dragon thingy with the drums and the ale? Just...
Kakofany comes back in with an entire keg of ale, like a full-size keg that he's hauling. He sets it on a chair in front of her and pours her a glass and just hands it to her.
She ignores the glass and picks up the keg and just starts downing it.
Nice.
Just, heavily drinking it, and she doesn't seem like she wants to be stopping at all. If you truly think you can make this right, there may be something you can do, but even with the mistake you've made, I feel it may be too much to ask of you.
What needs to be done?
See, I can work on tracking down this creature. That's not necessarily as much of a problem. But you'll need to have the box remade, and to do that, you'll need to visit each of the cities and get the gods that live there to agree to help in rebuilding it. Or maybe not all the cities, but you'll need 8 gods to agree. And you have my help, of course, but I fear they won't want to talk to me, and frankly, I could send people, but
Would you provide us with their identities?
their identities? Why, I could certainly do that. Now let me think about that. Good Lord, it's been a long time since I've been to any of these cities. Let me think. Well, if you're going to go... I suppose, here, I live... If you're going to go to the tiny village, you're going to want to speak to Vondra. If she's still there, that is. Good Lord, I haven't seen her in forever.
Tiny village sounds cool.
You probably won't enjoy yourself in tiny village. If you're going to go to... Dear, don't let my map freeze on me. If you're going to go to Pitara, you'll be able to find Iun and Bahamut, though I doubt either of them will want to help you very much. They don't like me very much. And let's see, who else is there? Well, I know there's someone at Eretz, but frankly, I can't remember who it was. They constantly change. And there's someone at... Who was it again? Who was it?
It's hard keeping track of all these gods.
I think Arathis is over at Dagath, but I might be wrong on that one. And I think Asmodeus is in the Demon City, although that Asmodeus the 12. God, they go through a lot of them. Oh, and there's a bunch of gods over in the Thousand Citadels, but most of them are crazy. I can't tell you which ones are there. I haven't been there in forever.
Gods be crazy.
Is sanity important for this task?
Well, they have to actively do something, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to actively do it if they've gone completely insane, but then again, who knows? Yeah. And she takes another big swig of ale. Oh, and if you're going to Pilada, you might not want to go to Pilada.
Yes.
I don't know if there's actually a god there at the moment. I know that Moradin isn't with us anymore. I do know that you could probably go see, oh, what's her name again? Oh, that's right. I mean, there are the Underdark goddesses you could go talk to, but really you don't want to go talk to Shar or Loth now, would you? And then
Perhaps not.
let's see, who else is left? Oh, and Corellian. Corellian's at two worlds. I mean, yeah, I think that's everyone. Oh, and I mean, but you won't want to go all the way over there. Have you ever seen a world map?
Have we?
I would assume some of you would have, or at least been told about the world.
Yes.
Well, there's this keep way on the far end over near the depths. I know that one of the gods said they were gonna go move over there, but I can't remember which one. Maybe just leave that one alone if you want it. Let's see, there's one at Tiny Village, and two in Pitar, and one in Arat, and in Dagas, and in Two World. I don't really want to go to Plata. I'm certain you can find 7 if you walk around to all the different cities.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's such a lot of work for you mortals.
I know a god. Galarian,
We are
if we
not-
can find her.
Mortal.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't be, would you?
No.
You shard mines. She sighs deeply and takes another drink.
She's like, fucking shard
Still, it's a
mines.
lot of work. I mean, I guess I could always send someone else. Just be a lot more time consuming, and frankly, I don't really want to spend the resources. Gods don't really want to talk to me, and
I am good at, Kakofany good at talking gods into things.
I don't know. Seems like a lot of work.
We will accept this task.
Lady Sehanin, as I said, I have already sworn to do what I can to make up for any ill we have caused. As a sworn champion of Paylor, it is already my duty to help assist the people and the gods of this world however I can. If that means traveling from city to city, so be it. I already live my life in a similar fashion. It is very little trouble to do more.
I see. So you're truly willing to help?
That we are.
Agreed.
What about the rest of you? Frankly, you haven't said much, and I can't really tell if you're even with this group or if you're just stragglers in the room. Which, by the way, if you are, can you just go get me some wine? I'm gonna be through this keg very soon.
Eden steps forward a couple of steps. I am confused. You speak of a terrible evil having been unleashed upon the world, and yet it seems you are content to drink yourself into oblivion.
She just looks at you and says, "There is not much I can do other than figure out where this creature is. But there's no way I can stop it. And none of the gods seem to want to talk to me. So me going out and doing anything about it doesn't really seem like it's going to help a match, now does it?"
Why is this happening?
This creature? Is that what you speak of?
This imbalance, the far realm and ours.
There was a mistake that was made long ago. You should know that the realms of the gods was destroyed.
Oops.
Did you not know that?
My bad.
Why
I
do you think
destroyed
I'm
the realms
here?
of the gods.
It can't be fixed?
What is
It's-
shattered cannot be repaired.
Well said. Reacher, well said.
Well, we're glad you're here.
It is gone for good. And anyone who tries to fix it dies in the process. We have lost many gods because of it.
Im looks over at Buddy. Show her.
Show her what? Exactly?
You
the,
know.
the book or me?
The book.
Oh, the book. Okay. And Buddy goes over and hands Sahanin the book. And there's like a moment of silence. And then Sahanin shakes her head and says, "No, this will only make more problems. Frankly, I don't know what you want."
The power of the book has already been unleashed. We seek to understand. We seek to find Marius.
Well, you want to see that doddering old fool? If you really want to find him, you're out of luck. He left, went off, said he was going to go study in the tiny village, and I haven't seen him since. And good lord, it's been how long? 50 years? 60 years? Oh, goodness, it's been a while. But really, I would leave this book alone. In fact, I would go and burn it if I were you.
Would it be safe in your keeping?
Perhaps, but I'm not keeping something like this around me if I'm not getting something out of it in return.
What recompense would you require?
She looks you up and down. You seem like a capable warrior. Or something. You've got a bear, so that's already a good sign. How about you help these people out, and I'll watch this book for you, and if you happen to find your friend, you can come back and get it, or if not, if you change your mind, you can come get it. How's that sound?
Very well. That is a fair bargain.
Is this tiny creature thing going to be going with you? She points at Buddy.
Are you coming, Buddy?
Oh, yeah, no duh. Unless you don't want me. I could, totally stay here. I mean, I could work at a brothel. That sounds kind of fun.
It is really fun.
No,
I would-
don't.
I would suggest you come with us, Buddy.
Okay. What about you two? And Buddy looks at the two who work at the brothel. Are you gonna come with us? You guys seem kind of cool.
Well, on an adventure?
Yeah.
Well, he looks at Belda. No, he looks at himself. He looks at Kakofany and he says, "Well, there might be dragons out there."
Well, we are happy to do whatever Sehanin wants. If this is helpful for you, then we'd be happy to do it.
This would be very helpful for me. What was your name again? I know you work here. I've seen you before. You're the weird kobold guy, right? You play the drums. Your name starts with a
You forgot
B?
about me?
starts with a B, right? Your name?
We are called Kakofany. Kakofany and Gloomscale.
Oh, right. You're the ones who follow guests around, right?
No, not really.
No, you're definitely the ones who follow guests around when they don't want to be followed around. You cause...
It's not our fault they're cheap.
You know what? Yes, you guys should definitely... I think that would be a very smart idea.
Okay, we go then. Adventure.
I will say this if you're going to be helping me out. Well, give me a second, and she digs around in a bag for a while, and she holds out like a little sack, and she says, "Just take this. Someone, anyone."
Kakofany takes it.
It's a bag. There's a decent amount of gold in there. I don't know how long your trip's gonna take. If you need to bribe people, I'd recommend you come see me if you get one of the gods or even two or three. So we can talk stuff over. And if you need more gold, because I can always just give you guys more, but that should cover a decent amount.
Thanks.
So that bag has about 1,400 gold in it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Kakofany hands the bag of gold to Beldak. You're better at counting and stuff.
Veldic kind of like chokes when he sees it, like, whoa!
Now keep in mind, if I don't hear results, let's say 5 months, I will find you down and I will exact my holy wrath upon you. And I actually have holy wrath, so just keep that in mind.
Have no doubts or fears, lady. We will carry out this divine mission as best we can, and with the greatest speed we can muster.
By what stone, boss?
That's good. And I will do what I can to aid you when I can, with what I can. If you have needing to go see Marcus, I would recommend going to the tiny village first. Best bet of finding him, and it's not too far away. You could stop at the bridge city on the way there, too. I heard they have really good kebabs.
Ooh, kebabs. What are kebabs?
There's food that is cooked on a piece of wood, and then you eat it off.
Sounds good.
They are a well-earned respite from many days of travel on the road when we reach our destination.
Kakofany leans over towards Barak or Barak and tries to whisper in his ear, but it's a little too loud. Did you even give her the gift yet?
Oh, no! Thank you for the reminder. I'll give it to her before we go.
Yes. I would say go to Tiny Village or go to Daga. They're both closer. If you do go to Daga, though, I would recommend you not come back right away and just head up to Thousand Citadels, because you'll have to go back that way anyways, but...
It's true, boss. She is pretty
whatever.
lazy.
Just, Oh, and you can use... There's scrying crystals at each one of the cities you can use to talk to me if you need to. They do charge a fee, though, but I'm certain you can pay for it with how much gold I've given you.
Indeed, our thanks. And we shall certainly use such crystals if we can, if only to reassure you that our goals are being met and sought out where we can. I believe the tiny village will make for a fine first destination, as it seems that is where the most of our goals align. What say the rest of you?
Are you the leader of our group, Barak?
I would not presume to be the leader. I am simply suggesting a course of action, and I would hear from the rest of you. What do you think? Does it seem wise and fitting?
I don't know. Somebody should be leader, because without leader, there's just chaos. I learned that with the tribe. Of course, sometimes even with leader, there's chaos, so No, maybe. Never mind.
We agree to visit Tiny Village.
All right. Now, if that's everything, if you don't need anything, you can get out. I have a bad headache and I'd like to sleep.
Our only business more is this gift, which we brought to you to thank you for seeing us and thank you for any information that you were able to give us. And here I would offer it as a parting gift as we set off on this task. And Barrick pulls out the necklace and kneels down and holds it up in his hands, palms up, and says, I know that its radiance pales in comparison to your own and to that which you have wrought in the world, but I was hoping it might be taken as a gesture of our faith and servitude.
And she kind of just, rolls over in bed and, snatches it out of your hand and looks at it. And she's like, thanks, I guess. Just don't die. Also, if you see the creature and you'll see it, just run. Don't fight it. You'll die, and then I'll have to hire someone else. And it's a lot of work.
Worry not. We will seek out our goal with valor and with wisdom, discretion where necessary. And should we fall in our task, know that all you need to do is contact me in my next life, and I shall once again serve you as best I can.
And she just kind of waves you off over in bed and pulls the blankets up over her head.
Well, very well then. Thank you again for the meeting and the information, and we shall do our very best. I'll take my leave now. Thank you. And Barak, he just sort of awkwardly shuffles backwards towards the door until he gets to it, and then he turns around and walks out.
All right. Is anyone else going to be leaving? Or is anyone else going to do anything in this room?
She's gonna stand there awkwardly now.
Beldek's gonna leave.
Eamon and Simon leave.
Yeah. Alright, so you're now out in the hallway, outside of the room, and you've now agreed to this task set to you by the goddess of finding 7 gods and getting them to agree to help you rebuild this box. Is anyone saying anything?
This should be no problem. Easy to talk gods into stuff.
One can only hope.
But we need 7 of them.
Yeah, that's no problem. We'll just
It-
keep going until we get them.
It will surely take time, but Kakofany here is correct. All we need do is remain relentless and steadfast to our purpose, and we shall see victory at the end of the day.
All we need is joyous cooperation, right?
Right?
Indeed.
I believe in you, Kakofany.
Oh, thanks. I believe in you.
Buddy's gonna lean over to Eamon and, in her mind go, is the giant rock creature person coming with us?
Who is the giant rock creature person?
The, pink and orange one that's literally made of rock.
Ah,
Oh, wait, that rock creature.
yes she is. Does
Oh,
that make you happy?
No. I don't like her very much. Or him. I think it's a girl. I could be wrong, though.
Why do you not like it?
I don't know. I just don't like it. It's spooky.
Only time will tell. Keep an open mind, buddy.
Okay. And then Buddy's gonna like go up to Barak because she now knows that he's later, and she's gonna. So are we gonna sleep, or are we leaving now? And if we're leaving now, are we buying stuff first? And if we're buying stuff first, does that mean we get to get food?
Those are all very important questions. I would just as soon leave with dawn. That we will have a full day ahead of us, with the light shining down to reveal our path and keep it well visible before us. I would suggest we use the evening to purchase supplies for the journey. We will need to make sure that we are well equipped. Have you all some sort of protection against the mists should they arise upon us during our travels? Breathing masks or protective pouches such as this one here. If you don't know how to work them, I can show you, of course.
We should
I
get
see
some
that
chickens.
you already are well equipped, Eamon.
I'm always equipped. As is Simon. And he gestures to the apparatus Simon is wearing around his neck.
Very
We
good,
got
very
the
good.
mask. We got masks. We should get some chickens. Chicken is very good.
No,
Ah, yes. No better food to take with on a long journey than a sack full of chickens, eh?
It begins.
I must say, Buddy is partial to chicken.
Ah, good to hear it. I've always found chicken to be a fine meal on the road, if only because, well, so many other things seem to taste like chicken. Why not have the real thing itself, eh?
You are so wise. And Kakofany looks at Kewin and says, "What about you, walking treasure? What do you eat? Do you eat?"
No.
I was wondering because it doesn't look like you have a mouth.
It appears that way.
But I can hear you talking. How does that work?
It simply is.
Okay. So you don't eat no food? You don't eat nothing?
No.
Kuhn is a fine traveling companion, steadfast, loyal, and true, capable at your side in a fight or in a conversation, and to boot, very light on the supplies, eh, Kuhn?
Correct.
Oh, so you get to eat all the food.
I have so far, but I would not presume to eat more than my share of rations upon this journey ahead of us.
Question. Are we gonna get camels? Or are we gonna walk?
Well, that question is one I would put to the group. After all, there are benefits and drawbacks to each option. It would take longer to walk by foot, but it means no mounts to take care of or worry for, and fewer supplies to purchase. Not to mention saving on the cost of the camels themselves.
I
and
wonder
they
if
won't
they
get lost in the forest. Beldak just kind of like looks far away in the distance.
I wonder if they got any things we can ride that can fly. Like giant birds or something. We should get those. Maybe even giant chickens that we can ride on. And then we have to eat the other chickens behind their back so they don't get offended.
A very interesting question you pose. Do you know of any such, any vendors who might sell mounts of this kind in the city?
No. I was just saying it'd be cool.
Well, we shall do our part to look, certainly. If we would care to, perhaps, split up and make our purchases of supplies in groups smaller than the total. I don't imagine all of us need to go to each shop in turn and seek out food and water and supplies such as these. We could simply partner off or work in groups of 3 or 4.
But we only got 1 bag of gold.
I am curious about these fine chickens.
Why don't we
Like
just
if-
go together?
If you took chicken and you, like, smeared it on your rock face, could you taste anything?
I am not a rock.
Well, okay. Whatever you call it.
And no.
It's too bad you're missing out.
Well, if we do care to remain as one party, we may. I have
like
no
that,
qualms
Nox.
against this. Perhaps we should make our way to some sort of merchant of food stuffs, for lack of a finer.
So I'm gonna, just to make things easier, say that you can get all of the, like, in terms of travel supplies you need. We don't need to do that in game. We'll say it's fairly easy to get and it's not super expensive. The main thing will be if you want anything specific and if you want mounts of any kind.
How much are mounts?
I will. Well, if you just want like your standard horse, I had that
How much?
up
How
earlier.
much is an elephant?
An elephant. This specific city does not sell elephants. If you had an elephant
Okay.
from somewhere else, you could get an elephant. But this specific city does not have them. They do have camels, and I believe they cost the same as a war horse.
Do they have riding lizards?
There is one farm that you know of that does have riding lizards. They are not cheap though.
Do
they
they
have,
have giant riding chickens?
I was just gonna ask, do they have chocobos?
Do they have chicken birds? If you ask around, they'll all say that they've never heard of such a creature. Does not mean it does not exist though.
How much
much
are the
did-
lizards?
The lizards are 100 gold each, plus the cost of saddle and everything else.
We can afford lizards. They're very good.
Beldek just wants to look at the horses. He doesn't want to buy one. He just wants to look.
Sorry, how much did I say the lizards were?
I think you said 100 gold each plus
They're
tack
not
and
a-
harness.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong sheet. They are 400 gold each.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a lot more.
We
No
can't
lizards.
afford that.
You could get 2 lizards and a cart, and you could ride in the cart.
Oh. Party bus.
That would still be 1,000 gold. Keep that in mind to get all that.
Can we get
to buy
chariot?
them a
How
chariot?
much is chariot?
Like a horse-drawn chariot?
Yeah.
Or a lizard-drawn chariot?
Well, we can't afford the lizards. We've established that. Not
Yeah.
yet. But what about just
So-
a chariot drawn by horses?
Chariot drawn by horses. That will be for the chariot and the horses and everything to saddle them up. It'll be 600 gold, and then you'll also need to get supplies for the horses, which will cost you
That's
for
a
the whole
lot.
trip another 100 gold.
How long of a walk is it from Karakafar to the Bridge City?
The Bridge City? It's about a 10-day journey.
They're like an Avis where you can rent camels and you turn them in at the corresponding Avis in the next, or Hertz or whatever. at the
Yes,
next
there
town.
is. There is a way you can rent them. And that's much cheaper.
And how much is that?
So you just want to rent a camel?
For example, yeah.
Yeah, for each camel will be... Camels are slow, though. They're not very fast. But they're only... sorry, I'm trying to find it. They are... for renting them, it's 30 gold per 10-day.
And what else can be rented that's faster?
You could rent... The lizards are much faster. You can rent those for 150 gold per 10-day. You can also rent horses. They are faster, but you have to stick to the main roads. They can't go off-roading at all. And those are 25 gold per 10-day.
Well, friends, in terms of our travel expenses, I would suggest either we buckle down and accept a walk, it's not that far, or I would perhaps suggest horses that would carry us there with greater speed, but we would be paying the cost.
I tried to ride a horse once and it did not want to carry me. They said I was too heavy.
Walking's good for you anyway.
Indeed, it is but a short journey to our first destination along the way. The journey from the bridge city to the tiny village may take longer, and for that we may seek out mounts for that trek of the journey, but for this first distance, I believe walking shall suffice, if that is acceptable to the rest of you.
Walking is good until we can afford lizards. Trust me, you gotta get the lizard. They're awesome.
I will take your word for it for the time being, but certainly if the chance arises, I shall grab hold of the lizard and ride it for all that it is worth.
Somehow that sounded like a euphemism for something.
You know, that's just because we're still we're still based out of a brothel at the moment. Once we get moving on, I'm sure all of the euphemisms will fall to the side.
Take hold of your lizards.
Good lord. Alright, and is there anything else, like, specific besides, like, the generalized, stuff that you'd want to get?
I don't think so.
Kakofany's
Barrick
not
doesn't.
smart enough to think of any valuable supplies.
Yeah, like Barrick doesn't really have anything specific he wants in mind. He does make sure that we're getting enough like general survival rations, like food and water and all of that. He makes sure that we have enough for 1.5 times the predicted amount of time that it will take us to reach our destination.
Yeah, and that's no problem. You managed to strike up a decent deal. It's like 100 gold for like 15 days worth of rations. It's a lot of rations to be carrying, though. Just saying.
I mean, we'll divvy them up amongst the group, however
How many
needs be.
people in the group are strong? Like, Kakofany's really strong. He can carry a lot. But is
Bildak is
anybody else
very
strong?
frail.
Beric can certainly carry his own like rations. He's not particularly strong, but since he doesn't really wear armor, he doesn't have anything super heavy on him other than his sword.
Can
Even
Simon
not
carry
if
some
he's not.
stuff?
I don't know. Can animal companions carry stuff?
Yes, they can. You'd probably need to get him a saddlebag of some kind, though, in order to do that.
And then if he dies and he's resummoned, would he have all his equipment on him?
No, I believe that if he dies, all of his equipment just falls where it is.
Okay.
So then you just have a pile of equipment.
Simon is not like carrying. He is not a pack animal. Simon is my connection to the land.
I mean, this is Buddy talking. We could get a donkey. That's not too expensive. We could shove all our stuff on the donkey.
Which can carry more, donkey or camel?
I mean, a donkey can definitely carry more. I mean,
Donkeys are good kickers too.
they do kick a lot. I mean, camels can
Battle
carry a lot.
donkey!
Camels can carry a lot too. That's true. I mean, either one's good. Just cover them in bags and all our stuff there, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Kakofany looks at Eamon and says, "Can you talk to donkeys? Or camels?"
I can talk to donkeys and to camels.
Oh, good. So you could be the one that tells her what to do. That should be good, yes?
That is acceptable.
So are we purchasing a donkey or a camel to carry our shit? A donkey's gonna be like 8 gold for the trip in between. It's not gonna be a ton.
Shall we rent a donkey then, friends?
How do
To
you
carry
figure that
some of
number,
our equipment?
boss? Sounds good to Kakofany.
Very well then.
I don't
So
know
we-
who the party treasurer is, but it's not me.
I believe you gave the bag to Barrack, so unless Barrack wants to give it to someone else.
No, I thought he gave it to Beldak.
I gave it to Beldak immediately, so unless Beldak has given it to someone else, then Beldak has it.
Alright. So unless someone else wants it, I guess Beldak will be the party treasurer.
Yay!
Alright, so mark that down, so it's 8 gold for the donkey.
Wow, donkeys are cheap.
Donkeys are very cheap.
So how much are we spending on all of this general survival provisions?
So
and
general
stuff?
survival supplies for the full trip is for 15 days per person who actually needs food. Total, it's going to be about 100 gold.
And that includes some chickens.
That does include some chickens. I will say you have a couple of chickens. Do you want chicken jerky, the equivalent of, or do you want actual chickens?
I think jerky would be better in the long run.
Both.
All right.
Or both.
Yeah, we could have a few fresh chickens to eat for the first couple of days, and then jerky after that.
Sure. So you've got all the food stuffs you want. It's all good. You've got chicken. The chicken farmer is very happy that you buy all the chicken. Or I shouldn't say the chicken farmer. I should say the chicken salesman because there's no chicken farm.
Eat more
All
chicken.
right,
That's
so you
right,
have
Max.
all of the supplies, and I assume you get a very good. Unless anyone else wants to do anything in this city, I assume you're meeting at like the front gates in the morning.
Does anyone else have any business in the city? Or
Well-
shall we make way for this new journey?
Ugh.
Are you
Let us-
excited about going on Journey, Beldak?
Yeah. We might find a dragon.
Yeah!
Im turns to Buddy.
Yeah.
And once more, adventure awaits.
Yep. Do you need me tonight, or can I go do some shopping?
You are free to do as you please, as you always are, Buddy.
I
That's
know.
all.
I just like asking. Apparently, that's the proper protocol.
As you may.
All right. Anyone else have anything they're doing?
Beldek's just packing his stuff up the night before,
All right.
picking the best books to take.
Cool. All right. So everyone does their things, packs up, all that kind of stuff. And you make it to the front gates. The next, I
That's-
assume, is the plans to meet at the front gates that morning?
It's amazing,
Mhm.
boss.
Yep. Sure.
All right. So you show up to the
Yes.
front. You show up to the front gates. The ragtag team. Everyone's walking up. Does anyone like look any different than they normally do when they arrive at the gates?
Well, Kakofany was everything before he was dressed in brothel clothes, so he was dressed in, like very scantily clad, very fancy, foofy kind of stuff. And now he's dressed in like battle gear, which is he's got this, dwarven chainmail on and all of his other, equipment and stuff. He looks like he's ready to, and he's got all these bones and feathers and teeth and claws and stuff like hanging all over his body. Like he's just bedecked in all this sort of tribal fetishistic kind of stuff.
Beldek's just as scantily clad as before, but his clothes look more substantial. There's like more leather and stuff, leather and furs. He looks a bit more primitive than the clothes he usually wears in the brothel. But still pretty scantily clad.
Clad in the garb of scandal. Nice,
The only real
nice.
difference with Barrack is that by the time we're at the front gates, he has his mask like not on his face, but sort of set around his neck, ready to pull up at a moment's notice.
Eamon and Simon look no different.
That's interesting, boss.
Anything with Kuhn?
She doesn't really need to prepare much.
All right. So Buddy comes up riding a lizard
What?
and goes, "Are we ready to go, guys?"
Hey,
Where?
where'd you get lizard?
Just I bought it. I know you guys didn't want to get mounts, but I really like walking. So I got a lizard.
Oh,
I always
it's
say you're
pretty
resourceful.
awesome.
No, you just walked up. I mean, it wasn't that much money. I don't know how much you guys spent. Thought it was gonna be.
You never fail to surprise me, buddy.
You did
we-
pay full price for this creature, yes?
Full price.
All
What's
right.
full
I
price?
just wanted to confirm.
What's full price? I'm confused.
However much the owner of the lizard was asking for.
Oh yes, I paid exactly what the owner of the lizard was asking for.
Then you did well.
Can I have the lizard if you die? I'm just asking.
No, it's my lizard. Plus, I'm not gonna die. Don't worry.
Oh
Unless
yeah,
you're-
of course. I don't
I
want
know.
you to die. I'm just saying, if you do, somebody got to take the lizard.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes, because then you might kill me for the lizard.
No, Kakofany would never kill you.
I don't know. Maybe. Fine. If I die, you can have the lizard. But you have to keep her name.
Attack. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to keep her name. That's the rule.
Okay, what's her name?
Her name is Lizard Dog.
Lizard dog?
Yep.
Okay.
Beric does his usual conspicuous whisper to Q, and once again, as always, forgetting that he can just speak with his mind, and he sort of leans over and, how can you tell it's a girl lizard?
Me?
No, he's
asking me.
he's whispering to Q, but it is pretty loud, so yeah,
Oh.
Buddy probably would hear and respond. And he just sort of glances over and he's like, yes, actually, how do you know it's a girl lizard?
It's a girl lizard. How does anyone know it's a girl lizard?
I could check.
That's my question. How does anyone know? How do you know?
I just know. You know?
No, I don't.
Barack, there are sometimes things that you just know.
Okay,
No.
Barack, I don't know if you understand this, but did you know that boy creatures and girl creatures have different parts? Sometimes?
Yes, I understand that. I wasn't sure if it worked the same with lizards.
No, it
And
doesn't
as
work
far
that
as
way with
sim-
lizards.
As far as simply knowing, I understand, Eamon. There are many things in this world which we can know without proof or sight, I suppose.
I know all about lizards because I am related to them, kind of. Not really. I'm related to dragons, which are much better than lizards. But still, they got scales and I got scales. So we're kind of like cousins.
And other parts.
So are we going now? Or...
I see no reason why not. Paylor smiles on the day, and we have a long road ahead of us.
700K
I see no
for a
time
lizard,
better than
huh?
the present to make for our destination and see what fate has in store for us.
The leader has spoken!
And so you begin your march off into the desert. And you leave the city, and you have your respirators on, and you can immediately feel that the air is very oppressing right now. It feels like it's pulling in. You don't see a bunch of mist, which is good, but it definitely doesn't feel right. Even right away after leaving the city.
Kakofany forgot how shitty it is outside the city. Got used to clean air.
It is a world of... It is a world of danger and trouble, but also beauty. We simply must press through the dirt of the air and the mist around us to find our goal and to find rest where we can.
With every passing vapor, every drifting strand, the land speaks to us in a language all its own. And all we can do is listen.
Kakofany
Well
does hear the
said.
land. Just hears Gloomscale.
All right.
Simon is walking 10 feet or so ahead of the main group as we march.
Hey, do you guys want to tell stories? It's a really long walk, and I think we should tell some stories. Because otherwise it's going to be really boring.
Of course. A fine tale to pass the day is always welcome in my mind. What kind of stories were you thinking of sharing, friend?
I don't know. If each of us tells a story, that would be cool. I don't know. I just like stories. I like hearing stuff. I mean, you seem super tall, and your sword seems super... Oh, so you look funny. You're not human, are you?
Is that still directed at me? You were
Yeah.
cutting out for a moment. It
Oh,
may have just been
sorry.
on my end.
Sorry, that probably was on my end. Yeah, Kyun's just kind of like pointing at everyone and saying all kinds of different things. Like, you can't really tell who's Kyun's directing things at.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you mean Buddy?
Or sorry, buddy. I
I,
apologize immensely.
I need to call it a night. I've got an early start tomorrow. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Night, night.
Night.
Good
Night.
Emma.
Night. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So okay, if the question about you're not human, are you, was pointed sort of vaguely towards Barak, he smiles and shakes his head and says, "No, I cannot count myself among humans, nor among any of the mortal races. Truly, I like to think that I am able to walk and live and love among them. I am not truly that world."
Oh, that's cool. And what about you, big rock creature?
I am not human.
I know that. But what are you?
I am shards.
See. That's
Shirt
spooky.
of what?
Shards of the astral sea.
Isn't the sea made of water?
On this plane,
Wait, isn't that place that went boom?
yes.
Oh. That's cool, I guess.
No.
But if you are shards, how come you can walk and talk and stuff?
How come you can walk and talk and
Be-
stuff?
because I am not shards. I am a person, a whole person, not just a broken piece of something else. I mean, no offense, just asking.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. How does Kyun respond to that?
Kyun does not respond to that.
And what about you, big lizard creature? You're a big lizard, right?
Dragon!
No, you're not a dragon. I've seen dragons. You're too tiny.
I'm part dragon!
Where are your wings?
Kakofany not have wings. Yet. I'm the Kakofany, 12 years old. Maybe in 50 or 100 years, Kakofany have wings. Maybe.
I don't think that's how it works. Does anyone else
Yeah.
know how that works?
I can't profess to know a great deal about the anatomy of dragons.
They have wings.
When little dragonlings first born, they smaller than Kakofany is now, but then they get much, much bigger. But it takes a long time. But of course, they do have wings right from the beginning. So,
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe you'll get wings and super cool. And then you can carry us around and we could go flying.
yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, I'm a kobold, but also part dragon.
That's cool. And what about you, other thing? I mean, you look kind of like a person.
You look kind of like a person.
This is directed at Beldak.
Oh, I was muted. Yes, I am very much a person. I'm a half orc and half elf.
Red Bull to give you wings, yeah.
Oh, that's a weird combination.
Not really.
Did your parents get like drunk one day?
No, they were too busy being cultists and crazy.
What's a cultist?
Kakofany, what's a cultist?
Cultists are awesome!
And there you have it.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm awesome, but you guys seem awesome. So are you all cultists?
Yeah!
Oh.
This is like a
No.
new cult.
Hold on a moment.
Berdak is cult leader!
No.
Firstly, this is not a cult, and I am not a cultist, nor am I the leader of a cult. Secondly, there is much more that defines a cultist than being awesome, and that itself is very much up to debate. And thirdly, buddy, just so you are always aware in the future, one does not have to look a certain way in order to be a person. I and Kuhn are people, as are, I am sure, our new allies here, Kakofany and Beldak, but we do not have to look human or even humanoid to be considered a person.
Oh, so person means creature. And... Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Oh, so the donkey is person.
No.
Well, you could consider it so.
No.
Is
I
lizard
don't
dog
believe
a person?
you would be considered.
Lizard dog, definitely person. Don't know about donkey.
Lizard
The person-
dog is not person.
Well, how do you just
Person
decide?
doesn't refer to all creatures.
It sounds like you're just making it up. Who is person and who is not?
It is a difficult question. when
You
think on it over much.
You may be correct. I now assess you to not be a person. She says to Kakofany.
Kakofany is person. Yes. Actually, now that I think about it, Kakofany don't really know what the word person means.
Here is one way we might think on it. If you can speak to them, and they will speak to you in turn, they are a person.
Then that means Lizard Dog is a person.
Gloomscale definitely person. And God and spirit.
This is confusing. I like it.
Very confusing. I don't understand how you're not a cult, though. Are you talking about your god that you worship like your Pelor? How? That's exactly like a cult.
Well, to be fair, there is, I presume, a cult of Pelor, but I myself am not a part of it. Cult suggests a certain fervor and activities of which I do not take part.
You
What is
are
fervor?
most fervent.
I am fervent in my faith and belief, but this is all very complex. Perhaps we should move on to telling our stories,
Oh, yes, we were gonna do stories. Right. I like stories. Do you like stories?
I like stories.
Do
Kakofany
you...
and Gloomscale love stories.
Rock Creature, do you have any stories?
Yes.
Are they good stories?
Yes.
Kyun, I believe that, now is the time when you would tell one of your stories.
No.
Why not?
It is not nighttime.
No. Oh, so it has to be nighttime first?
Walking Treasured have good point. Stories much better at night. When you have fire.
But he ponders this for a second. Goes, do we want it to be night right now?
No.
I should say not. It would be very difficult to see. And we still have a long distance to go ahead of us today.
But I want to hear stories.
I suppose I could tell one of my stories in the daytime. The stories of Pelor are well suited to being told under his glorious radiance and the sunlight above, as well as being told around a campfire in the darkness.
Ooh, that sounds fun. You should tell a story.
Very well. Would you care for a story of Pelor himself, or... Well, you were asking about me earlier. Would you care to hear a story about what I am and how I came to be among the mortals?
I mean, I'm up for anything. What about you guys?
We want to hear this story.
We do.
Tell it.
Which one? Which story? I
All of
suggested
them.
either.
All the stories.
Oh. All right then. Well, let me begin with relaying to you all of the many tales I know of Pelor, and his radiance, and his love, and everything good that he has done for all the races of the lands. And to forgo just relaying information that can be found in so many different source books, unless you want me to like pull something up like that.
Nah.
Beric would just sort of launch into the many myths and stories and religious tales about Pelor.
Pelor sounds awesome. You sure he's not a dragon?
I have told you once already, my friend. Pelor is far greater than any dragon. Excepting perhaps the great dragon gods themselves, such as Bahamut. But Pelor is, I would say, even greater than he.
Because you in cult.
No, not because I am in a cult, just because I am aware of his deeds and I am a follower of his ways, but I admit perhaps I have some slight bias, but I cannot help that. It is simply how I was made.
Can I join Pelor cult?
Why, certainly you can become a follower of Pelor. He is always accepting of new members of the faith, and especially in these dark and trialing times, it is good to have more servants of the light.
Okay, where do we meet him? Where do we meet him? Where is he?
That is a fine question. And that is partly because, Stoyla, I'm assuming that, I don't know if we've discussed this, but even with all of the gods, like, living in different cities and everything, is anyone really sure where Pelor is?
Yes, Pelor is in the city of 1,000 citadels under the care of a group of individuals.
Okay, cool.
We don't know. The
so yeah,
child
Pelor
is
says,
mysterious.
Beric says, that is a good question. I do know where he dwells. However, I am not sure that we would, gain or seek audience with him. He is somewhat ill. And while he is still very powerful and gives aid to all of those who seek his favor and work his will in the world, he also needs much rest. Perhaps,
What?
should we ever find ourselves in the city, we might meet him, but
Your god needs rest?
that is not... All gods need rest. You just saw Sehanine in her bed last night, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but... Well, we should go there next then, after Tiny Village, because we have to talk to gods anyway, right?
Indeed, I was thinking such myself. Perhaps someday. It lies a long way away, the city of citadels where Pelor dwells. For now, we should focus on tasks that are closer at hand. One must not seek to build a bridge before one has the stones, eh?
Why would we build bridge?
It was just an expression, friend.
What about you, Beldak? You used to have some cool stories, right?
Oh dear. Alright.
Yes, Kuhn?
Sorry.
Kobold village is in a swamp.
Oh, swamps
Yes.
are nice.
I am aware of that. We will, do our best.
So did someone ask a question because I had to sort something out?
Oh, I was just gonna see if who had more stories. Although now that I think about it, Barrack didn't tell like a full story, just like a bunch of little stories, but I mean, that was all really cool stories and stuff, but does anyone else have any other stories? Or maybe we could hear a story about you? Or something? I don't know.
That was to Beldak, I think.
Well, I do have a story about how once upon a time, my parents were crazy cultists and they tried to sacrifice me in the sacred flame. And it turned my arms black as night, and he holds his hands up to show.
This is a cool story. I never get tired of it.
The guards came and saved me in the end, and my parents are rotting in prison. So that's my fun story. And he just kind of, like, smiles.
Group of individuals. What, Nox?
I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't sound very fun to me.
I survived.
You know, it's just cult things. No big deal.
You'd understand if you were there.
That is a difference between my faith and a cult. Cults do things like that. And my faith works as best we can to aid those who have been put through such an experience. My great sorrow goes with you, friend Beldak, that you experienced such horrors in your life.
Well, it made sense at the time. Trust me. If you were there, you would have understood.
Oh yeah, a group of individuals, not sinister
This
at all.
seems very confusing.
That's a good point.
So, cults are good but bad, and Paylor is good but bad? I'm confused.
Paylor is good. Cults come in many forms and many faiths, but they are often somewhat misguided or extreme in their beliefs and behaviors. Would be my things.
The way it looks to me, there's lots of gods, and lots of people that follow their god because that god takes care of them, or whatever. And all the gods have their own opinion about what is right and wrong. So all you can do is just obey the god that you follow, and if other gods have different ideas, then, you know, whatever.
I don't follow God. Does that make me a bad person? Because you all seem to follow gods, or at least I think. I don't know about the giant rock creature.
No.
My god is missing, so right now it's almost like I don't follow a god at all. I might follow Paylor if I meet him.
You don't have to follow a god in order to be a good person. Simply act with righteousness in your heart and soul, and let it always guide you in your actions, and you shall follow a good path.
Okay. So it's starting to get dark at this point. It's not like fully night yet, but it's definitely getting around the point where you should make camp.
Alright. I'm down with making camp.
Let us find a
For
good
those-
place to rest for the evening.
Nighttime, good time for more stories.
So we all set up camp in whatever manner we set up camp. And we get a fire. I assume we get a fire going. And there's much chicken to be roasted.
Yes.
And we sit down around the fire to eat the chicken. Is anyone going to do or say anything?
Beldek's gonna read some of his books, and he's like writing in it, and writing in that and an empty book, and doing like some kind of research.
Kakofany will play some music on his drums and sing some little songs about their journey so far.
Beric goes through a couple of prayers to Palor as the sun begins to set for the evening. And then he just sort of, assists in making camp. He's very used to that sort of thing. So he helps get the fire going and cook the chickens and everything like that.
I'm not sure how much longer we're going tonight. I figure
Yeah.
I would be more prepared to tell a story next week.
Yeah,
though.
I was gonna stop it here. I just wanted to see if anyone wanted to do anything particular at the camp before.
I am particularly useless at making camp.
I feel like this is a decent place to call it for right now, actually.
Yeah.
Because this way,
Yeah.
we come in next time, and we can just start out with, like, storytelling at the camp. Because it
Yeah.
sounds like everyone is down with, like, telling us at the nighttime with the fire going and everything, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that sounds good to me. All right, so we'll end it here. So I guess I will start going down the line. With Baba. So what was your favorite moment today?
I don't know. Yelling at the shop owner to give up was pretty good. Yelling at him to give up free items.
What's up, Enigma Soul? How you doing?
Cool. And is there anything you... Yep.
I was gonna say all that money spent to get something for cheaper.
Yes. And is there anything you're looking forward to?
I want to see Tiny Town.
Tiny Village?
Yeah, that's the word. I was just like, alliteration. Yeah.
I should have called it Tiny Town now that I think of it. But
Yeah, I'm ready
Yeah.
for Tiny Village, and I'm ready to see our party full of monstrous hulks trying to navigate it because they're all so tall.
Who is one character that you've really enjoyed interacting with or are looking forward to learning more about?
Kyun is just such a delight. Like her little no. Like, I love that so much, and I love Kyun, and I can't wait to see more of Kyun.
Indeed. All right, and Brian, what was your favorite part today?
I mean, I liked a lot of it. I really liked the riddle. I liked, trying to solve the riddle things. It was really tough. I don't know that we would have ever, I don't know that we would have gotten to, twin sun and moon swords.
Yeah,
but it was,
realized it was
interesting to think about, certainly. And
Yeah.
I liked the chance to have Beric just stand up, proudly proclaim his answer, and fall flat on his face as it was totally wrong. Because I came up with the answer shortly after we swapped over to Kava in the park, and I was thinking about it and I was like, oh man, this feels like it could be the right answer. And Beric is the type who would just sort of spring forward as soon as he thought he had something. So if it's right, awesome, and if it's not, awesome too. And it was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, and I do agree. I did give you a really challenging overall riddle, so now I know to tone it down a bit.
Although, again, it was, I thought, like, the clues you gave were, like, interesting and helpful. And, of course, having the option to, like, get the stuff inside the box in a different way was really nice. So it wasn't just, like, a stumping logic puzzle, and it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll never get that side option thing. Like, having the other opportunities to get it was good.
Cool. And what are you looking forward to going into next week? Or the next session?
I mean, I'm interested in seeing how our first, like, actually, really played out travel between settlements is going to work, because that sounds like, I mean, given the setting, it seems like this will be interesting. I'm also looking forward to just having opening up with some story time.
Yeah. And who's one person you've enjoyed interacting with or are looking forward to interacting with more?
I mean, the whole party, really. Finally getting to interact with Sayanine was a lot of fun. So I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to we've gotten our goal. I'm kind of interested in seeing what it's going to be like to interact with all the other gods.
Indeed. All right, and Josiah, what was your favorite part of this session?
Well, it was kind of a tie between. I liked Kava's part a whole lot in the park with the the grass and the flowers and the whole thing. I thought that was really cool, and I liked the part where Barack was like, "I've got it," and he seemed so confident, and I was really expecting him to just solve the riddle. And then when you were like, "Ha ha, no," I thought it was pretty hilarious.
Cool. And what are you looking forward to going forward?
I can't wait to see what Tiny Village is like, because I have a feeling there's going to be something about it that's like a twist.
Well, I make no promise about that. And who's one character that you've been thoroughly enjoying interacting with or are looking forward to interacting with more in the future?
I think I want to know more about Kava's character, Eamon.
For sure. Alright, and Val, what was your favorite part of today?
I thought the riddles were really fun.
Cool. And is there something in particular you're looking forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to Tiny Village. I gotta say, I'm really curious to see what some of the other gods and goddesses are like in this strange world. And going on a quest to basically meet all of them sounds seriously awesome.
Yeah, Super Mutant Camp.
Thank you. And based on that, I can say that I know you're looking forward to interacting with more of the gods. But is there anyone in the party that you've been thoroughly enjoying interacting with or want to interact with more?
I gotta say that the whole scene that Kava did really intrigued me. And I think I know the least about him. And I'm looking forward to interacting less with Kakofany in character. Broken thing.
Yeah, Kakofany had some choice lines today.
He had some nice things. He was calling her walking treasure for a while. That was nice.
Ish. I don't really consider that a compliment, though. Because it's kind of just like...
You're a treasure.
It's kind of just like turning her into an object.
Yeah, I don't know that that's nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's not necessarily nice. I feel like there's definitely some, prejudice going on here that I think over time will get resolved.
Yeah.
I mean, dragons have a weird sense of, treasure. They consider treasure to be really, really awesome. So, like, he's giving you a compliment. It's just a really weird one.
Really unfortunately phrased one.
Extremely.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between what somebody intends to be a compliment and what the person takes as a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's a surprise that the two of our characters don't
Jive very well.
no.
Yeah. I figured there would be tension between those two.
I don't
Going
think Kakofany's really wrapped his mind around the idea that Kuan is a person. I think he kind of sees her as being something like a golem or some kind of magical construct, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, shard mines would be a weird creature for a lot of people to run into. Like, they're not very common, and
No.
they do kind of look more like you would expect from, like, a golem or some sort of other, like, animated construct rather than, like, a sentient humanoid.
I mean, they are kind of a construct. It's just that they're awesome and divine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
Yeah, and you have, like, free will and stuff. I mean, you're a free-willed, sapient person.
We'll have to work out in future sessions where our cutoff point for what is a person happens to be in a fantasy setting.
Yes.
Because
That
it does get very, very tricky very fast.
I took
And Buddy
an
is very
awesome
mysterious.
class in college that was entirely about how to define person.
well, we are very lucky that you were part of our group. You were playing with us then, because you would know.
Yeah.
Kuan is a person.
Kuhn is definitely a person, that's for sure.
Kuhn is the person. Everyone else, all the PCs in the party are a person.
Except Kakofany.
Kakofany is not a person.
Maybe,
Kuhn is the
maybe
expert
Simon counts
and-
as people.
I mean, the
Yeah,
funny
Simon
thing
is- Simon is a person.
lots
There
and
is
lots
people.
of people throughout the history of D&D and the D&D worlds have considered kobolds not people. So I'm sure you could find plenty of people that would say the Kakofany isn't a person.
That is very true.
He's not a kobold, he's a bunch of lizards in a kobold suit.
Yeah, it's a costume. He's been cosplaying this whole time.
That's why he keeps saying, we are Cacophony.
Yeah, he's a hive mind.
Wow.
Uh,
But I'm fine including Simon as a person.
yeah.
Oh well, Simon's
There
obviously
is
a
people.
person.
Yeah, and I completely did not expect that conversation to happen based on what Buddy was saying. Buddy defines person as human, so like Buddy doesn't have the word human in her vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed, like, it, it sort of happened organically because,
Yes.
like I mentioned in the chat earlier, I'm trying to play Barak as, like, he has an intelligence of 8, which I'm not trying to play as him being inherently, like, stupid or anything, but he kind of just says, I'm trying to play him as just sort of saying whatever happens to come into mind that makes sense for the character without really second-guessing it or thinking things ahead very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I like
And
makes
so that
sense,
does-
Enigma.
That does lead to some interesting moments of, like, oh, well, if you can talk to them and they talk back, well, they're a person, and then so is the lizard dog a person then? Well, maybe this is getting out of hand.
Person equals me. Everything else
Important
is a figment of my
questions we ask in
imagination.
Barrack's cult.
The cult of Barak has begun. Oh man.
Yeah. I think I'm actually one of the smartest characters.
In terms of intelligence, yeah, I believe so. Um,
I don't even remember what Beldak's intelligence is.
I can check for
Kakofany's
you.
intelligence is 6.
Oh, Beldak's 17.
Oh, 6. Yeah, not person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, now the cutoff is 3. That's
You
official.
can barely learn a language.
I can
Yeah.
barely learn a language.
What is Beldax again?
17.
17 intelligence?
Yeah.
That's super high.
Yeah, he's a smart boy.
If I need hold monster to paralyze you, you aren't a person. Good call.
Yeah. No, we have a couple smart people. Let me check what Eamon's intelligence. I think it's super high.
Charm person versus
My
charm
computer will load.
monster.
That is. Oh, so one thing I,
don't know
do
what
have
the
to
exact
say
cutoff
about
on those is.
next week is I was thinking we not play next week. Because of American Thanksgiving.
It's fine with me.
Than
I
me
can go either
because
way.
I am going to be busy.
Yeah, because I'll be on a plane and I'll have maybe an hour after I get off the plane to set up.
When is
Oh,
Thanksgiving
no.
exactly? Like, is
It's
it
Next
the
Thursday.
Thursday. It is the Thursday. So
Oh yeah, I won't be able to play that day then.
Okay. It sounds like that's the consensus.
yeah, that's what I figured. But I just wanted to make sure nobody was gonna be like, "No, you can't do this to me, you terrible, horrible person."
No, you can't do this to me, you terrible, horrible person.
How dare you?
It's okay by me. I'm actually gonna be working because Black Friday is an all-consuming mass that spreads more and more with each passing year.
If
Oh, good
anyone's mean to you, tell us and we'll beat the shit out of them.
Yes, I agree.
I'm expecting it to go fine, especially on like Thanksgiving Thursday itself, but like it just means that like retail stores are open. Hooray! So I get to spend some hours at work that day.
The age-old question:
I will be
monster or
finding a
succeeded on
job
saving
after
throw?
Black Friday. Good for me.
That is an age-old question.
I mean, that's a good thing to do, I think.
Fuck Black Friday.
Yeah, that's a fair sentiment.
It's more like Blackout Friday from eating so much goddamn food the day before.
Yeah, I mean, I think, God, what am I doing in my background? Oh, I think I might be going to a Best Buy to see if I can get if I can find anything decent on sale Black Friday. Because I need a new mic bad.
A new mic would be good.
They're not that expensive either.
You gotta get one that's really durable.
I bought one that was $120 and it lasted 2 weeks.
Oh my god, did
Price
you get a raise?
doesn't always equal quality or durability.
Yeah.
Like
Nothing
the
is
mic that I
durable
used
when it
for this
comes to
game,
stuff.
I bought on Amazon for like $20 maybe.
Nope.
I've had it since the beginning of the summer, and I've dropped it several times, and it's still trucking on.
It's not necessarily that. It's my ability.
Okay, I'm gonna end this episode here. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Dungeons and Dragons: The Mists of Madness campaign with DM Stoyla. We'll see you next time.